Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox Online channel, host Sega Forever. I just wanted to give my first impressions of Call of Duty. I finally got a chance to play the game. I played the demo, talked about that yesterday in the podcast I did with Dea and Google Poll. And I know the podcast ran long, guys, and we were all over the place. It was more of a chat thing. I should have probably addressed it as that. So if anybody jumped in and was expecting all the Call of Duty stuff, but we were all over the place and we talked about a lot of the different stuff. Well, I won't do that in this podcast, I promise. Um, because it is my first impressions. I tend to do this instead of reviews, right? Because gaming has changed so much and it's come so far. It doesn't like I don't know why people do reviews on gaming. Unless you really respect the person's opinion, there's no need to watch other people's reviews on stuff, right? First impressions to me are better, kind of like how what we do with movies, right? Because everybody has different tastes, man. Like I said, gaming has transitioned numerous times. I mean, a lot of the games that you play now just don't fit in a lot of specific genres. Call of Duty kind of surprised me with some of the stuff that I played yesterday. I didn't get into every mode. That's why it's the first impressions. But the modes that I did play, I was surprised um, by how well done they were. I mean, I knew it was going to be a great game. Like I said, I played the demo, but that's just the multiplayer. Um, but the whole build up to Call of Duty Black Ops 6, and again, shout out to the people who's doing the marketing. It was way on point, and it even went beyond. I have to say that, like the stuff they like we talked about it yesterday, the stuff they did with the replacer was amazing to me, and they haven't stopped. They haven't stopped at all. They're continuing to put out even more ads. I understand that they know that the game is popular, right? But that's a good thing that they're doing. And I don't know if this is Activision making the call. Probably so. Wait, hold on, guys. I keep on. Something's going on with my thing. What is that? I keep on hearing a binging. Sorry about that. But I don't know if it's Activision's marketing. It probably is. Um, Much more so than Xbox, or it could be a combination of the two. I would like to think so. Because Aaron Greenberg has been on Twitter talking about the launch as well and giving them their props because they did a really amazing job. And some of these commercials, some of the um, some of the venues that they've been hitting up, especially they've been going like to places that you wouldn't think Call of Duty would advertise. And I'm talking, they're covering a lot of different things, just a full media blitz. And the interesting thing, of course, we all know that Xbox or Call of Duty is on Xbox now, as far as Microsoft owning them, right? So you would think that they might kind of pull back on it or whatever, but they've been nonstop. And again, shout out to Microsoft for promoting the Game Pass aspect of it. I wasn't like everybody else or the people that thought that for whatever reason Microsoft wasn't going to promote it. I think it's one of the major reasons why they got it. Um, we'll do a little bit of housekeeping as well before we get into my thoughts on the game with everything that's going on with Microsoft in general. Hold on. I'm sorry, guys. I'm hearing a bang on this. I think it might just be my computer. I might have something open. I do. Okay. It's because of what I have open. All right. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it. There we go. Okay. We're all good. Wait, this is not going. Sorry. This is crazy. My stuff is not working. Sorry. My bad, guys. Because this is stuff I kind of want to show when it comes to the marketing. So sorry. Spoiler alert. Um, but yeah, I mean, and there are a lot of people because look, dude, when it comes to the media and a lot of people in the gaming community that grew up with PlayStation, right? Everything is from a PlayStation Sony perspective, right? So because they want or because they think that Sony is the industry leader for whatever their reasons are, or they're just big fanboys, right? The gaming media always capitulates to Sony because a lot of those guys are grew up on PlayStation and are fanboys, and fanboys in the sense that they don't know any better, right? It's just like if I just constantly read Marvel comic books all the time and just thought Marvel was the best. I mean, Marvel was my preferred. Hey, what's up, Shinzo? What's up, man? Haven't played new COD yet, but it looks good, dude. I mean, Shinzo, did you get a chance to play the beta? Because everybody was high on the game because of the beta. I was playing the multiplayer yesterday, man, and it exceeds it. It exceeds what the beta was, what we got in the beta. Luckily, there's a few maps on there that was on the beta, which makes sense. So I didn't totally get wiped. when I jumped in because I came in, zero level. There's already people that were playing that in their, level 20 and unlocked all their guns and their sights and stuff like that. It's a typical. The only thing bad about COD, and it's not about the game, it's just the way COD is, right? Is you jump into COD, you're gonna get, you're gonna have to, you're gonna die. At least I do, right? At least unless you're that good, but it's until you can get some perks and get your stuff unlocked. Um, you're not gonna have a good ratio, kill death ratio, right? Um, that's the only knock on it, right? You just have to pay your dues, go through the trials, right, until you finally start unlocking stuff, and then of course it gets better. But luckily, I played the demo, and there was maps that I played on that since I played the demo that I was familiar with, because there's a lot of new maps on this game. In fact, I think they're all new. I don't know if I played every single one, but I was in a couple of maps. I mean, I thought they were cool, man. I love the layout. I love the movement. Um, I love some of the points that you have on the map. But of course, like if you don't know the map, man, it's just a learning process. But so far, man, I'm enjoying it. But luckily for me, man, a couple of those maps popped up in my rotation, so I didn't die as bad. I was using my rifle. I was trying to level up my LMG because that's what I like to use the most. But I mean, when you use the LMG, dude, you have people just moving around. You're just gonna die. I tried to plant myself a couple places, man. I'm at a point now I don't care because people like, oh, you're a camper. I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to survive at this point. Yeah, people like throwing stuff. I mean, dude, some of the, and that's the great thing about this COD. I'll say really right off the bat, dude. Even when I died, I loved it because it just felt like old COD. Like the person that I was playing against, man, they was doing this amazing stuff, right? And I was like, dude, it's cool, man, because that's how it's supposed to be, right? Hi, so Sinzo, if you haven't played it, man, definitely jump in. I don't know if you have Game Pass. I think you could have preloaded it. I did it. In fact, because I did the demo, I guess it automatically did. I don't know what happened. All I know is when I looked at it on Thursday to prep for the download because I had to move some stuff around, it was already on there, which was happy because I didn't have to race anything else. And then I didn't get to play it. My son's birthday is yesterday, um, and so today or yesterday after the podcast, which was I know it was long, guys, but I was able to play it. And man, I played the campaign first because I love Black Ops campaign. I played it first, and dude, that campaign blew me away. Oh, sorry, Shinzo. I followed behind that chat. Let me catch up. Shinzo Elite. Beta was fun. I played a few hours. I'm not very good, so I die out. Dude, don't worry about it, man. It's all about the fun. There's people on there that are just, they're just good. Like I get happy if I kill just one of them. If I kill them just one time, one or two times. You get that Kingslayer thing like that. I was playing with people like that last night, dude. They were just wrecking stuff. Because another thing too, like when I play shooter games, I like to do my kit and play my characters. I try like to get into my character, right? So sometimes I don't have the best fit. What I end up doing on COD though is eventually I end up building one where I can keep up. Like if I'm in a game and I'm getting toasted, then I'll switch over. And I'm not saying I'm going to dominate, but just to be competitive, right? Sometimes, right? I actually feel sorry for my team I die so much. But a lot of the time, Shinzo, what I'll do is I'll play the way I want to play, which isn't optimum sometimes, man. But especially with COD, dude, your operators, right? There's a little bit of a story, so I kind of build this narrative in my own head of how I want to play. Do the same thing with Warhammer Dark Tide. That's why I like these kind of games. That's why I love Left 4 Dead. You had actual characters that you could get into, right? And then you get involved in the world. Sometimes it's more than for me. It's more than just run around shoot, which I normally get from my Modern Warfare. Not saying Modern Warfare don't have a great story, but Black Ops they go deep, man. I was playing the campaign and I only did the first couple stages because I was a little bit surprised with what they did in the campaign. No spoilers, guys. I really want you guys to try for yourself. But I'll definitely say, man, I felt like I was playing a Tom Clancy movie within the game. I love the writing of it so much so far, and the characters and the narrative and some of the stuff that they're taking you to. Again, I only went through the first campaign, so I locked a couple things. But I don't want to spoil it for you guys because I really want you guys to experience for yourselves. I need to create more space on my side. Yeah, Shinzo, dude, that's a real problem. It's a big problem, in fact, with these hard drives. I have external hard drives that just to hold the games that I want to play because I play so much. I have just one. I want to say it's a 6 terabyte. That's just for Game Pass games that come in and out every month. So I at least save them on there so I can switch them out. Because transferring is faster than downloading. You know what I mean? So that's the struggle. I've talked about this on the channel for a lot of people are like, well, you're just so pro Xbox all the time. No, there's stuff that Xbox like I feel they need to improve on, but I'm just not gonna crap on them just for the sake of crapping on them. That doesn't make any sense. right? We own the console. We're in the ecosystem. We use the services, dude. I would want them to improve to help them, which in turn helps us as not just fans but consumers. Because at the end of the day, that's what it boils down to is our experience. And again, this is why Black Ops 6, man. I mean, they totally exceeded my expectations, and I only touched on it for several hours this year. So I'm looking forward to getting more time in after this podcast. So, but thanks for being here, Shinzo, man. But yeah, the struggle is real, dude. Hey, what's up, Daniel Berry? What's up, brother? Nah, it's all good, man. It's all good. I'm transitioning from watching the Fever play to watching my Steelers play. It's unfortunate though. I don't have cable. Um, I might go get the season ticket. I'm not sure. I've been actually just keeping up with what everybody's been posting online when it comes to the Steelers, man. I actually like the fact that they got Russell Wilson, and I like the other kid too, man. I just don't want them to put too much pressure on him. Give him some time to develop, man. Don't drop the whole thing on them, the whole offense, the whole season on him. There's a reason they got Russell, man. Let's utilize him. And he had a great game against the Jets. Made a lot of great decisions. You can see why, he is an NFL pro. All right, that dude's the real deal. So, but I like what they're doing at Pittsburgh. I like what they're doing, man. It's going to be a fun season. Shinzo. LMGs slow you down a lot. Yeah. Yeah, that's why, once I start to unlock them, but I die a lot, Shinzo. Because I love the LMGs, man. Because I got to get, I like to use the infrared, right? Either I'll usually make two classes of LMGs. One is where I can, if I'm going to move around a lot, make it a quick aim. And then the other one is just more about if I'm going to kind of sit and plant myself, like when you play certain modes, right, that require you to do that. So I tend to use an LMG that's a little bit more spec'd up for accuracy, right? But one thing I love about LMGs, man, is that what I tend to do, man, with the LMGs is this is what I've done on other COD games. And the reason I do it is I enjoy doing it, but it also does help me survive a lot better, right? Is I put like the full mag, I try to put that in there. And then I always use the scavenger app, or I make sure that I have the ammo pack, or I'll do all three. So then I basically just become like, just heavy metal, dude. Just metal down, pouring metal down on people. And then I'll usually get the mines. The mines aren't as effective as they were in the earlier games, right? Because people can perk up to you get the engineer perk now. You can be quick and just circumvent them. I don't know if this COD is going to do that. I haven't got that deep into the game, but there's certain things that I can do to build certain kits up that'll make me like not die a lot. Did I used to be above 50%, man? I'm bragging a little bit. Than that when I was younger, but nowadays, man. And then COD is a bit complicated now, and then you're playing with people that they're just that good. They're just that good. And then you throw in all the cheating stuff, and I see it online where people are sharing the videos and stuff like that, which is unfortunate because it kind of takes the fun out of the game, man. It is what it is, but yeah, LMGs, man, you gotta love them. If I'm being honest, dude. But once I get my infrared unlocked, dude, and I can sit there, I'll usually put in what's that perk that can punch through? The ones that can punch through walls and doors and stuff like that. So you can tag people behind whether they're trying to hide or we're at choke points, or they're trying to ambush you. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm not good with sniper rifles, Nate. I was actually playing with the sniper rifle yesterday. I did pretty good, man, but I can't quick scope. And I think some of it is psychological because I can't stand quick scoping. Yeah, and nothing against the people that do it, man. I think that's a skill and it's a talent, right? But I just can't do it. So I tend to stay with certain builds, man. I like to name my classes. Yesterday I named 5 of my classes, man. I of course went with the mythology route, right? So for my assault class, which is normally a rifle, and then I think we open up with is it the M14 or M16? I think it's the M14, right? So that's the standard we get, and so then I open up with that. So my assault class, I just named it Ares class, and then I kind of build up my kit to be more combative when I'm playing. And look, I'm not saying this like I'm going to dominate, dude. I'm just like, it makes sense to me, dude. I understand. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on when you're playing a game like COD. And so if I build up the kits in the way that I want them to feel when I play, especially though, but from memory, man, so I know what's what, right? Because sometimes when you get certain builds, it's not good. Like, of course, if you're running around and you don't have like what do you call that, quick aim and stuff like that, and probably not the best to use for a rifle, right? Now again, I haven't played this in detail, man. Maybe they made some changes. We'll see, dude. And I'll talk about it on the channel because I think it's worth. From the little that I played, man. I mean, I am definitely going to be invested in this game, which sucks for the rest of the games I'm currently playing. Um, but this is the way it's always been for me, man. I've always loved COD. COD came in a time of my life when I was gaming where I didn't have a lot of time to game. So COD's always been that game, and I think this is why it makes it so popular too. It's very arcadey, man. Not as much anymore, but back in the day, man, you could just jump into games and jump out. You know, when you could play when you had time. You know, if you're going to play like a JRPG, like I'm playing Trials of Mana right now, dude, and at first it seems like a very basic JRPG, but once you begin creating teams in that game, once you start leveling up your characters, then you want to realize like, okay, now you want to do different combinations. So that game that can probably be about 40, 50 hours, dude. If you go the full route with that JRPG, man, you can get easily 80 to 100 hours out of it. And that's why I know why that's why a lot of people like JRPGs, man, because they're invested in not just the game but the world and the characters, right? The art style of the game is awesome. The graphics look amazing. The story is actually pretty good, man. I know it's basic, but there's some depth to it, man. There's a little bit of depth into it. So, and I'm talking about again. Sorry, I'm off the track. But Trials of Mana. And the only reason I bring that up again is because with COD, that all goes away pretty much. I'm gonna try and balance it as much as I can. You know, I have plans to play Starfield because I want to get the downloadable content. And with COD coming on and all the other games I played, I was supposed to play MechWarrior 5, downloaded that. That's probably going on the back burner. Or I'm going to have to like really set aside some time during my day and just make it a point to play. You know, struggle is real, man. Like, that's why I don't believe all this trash that people tell you Xbox has no games, right? Because if you push people hard enough, then they go into the specifics, right? Well, Xbox doesn't have this type of game, or they don't have JRPGs, or they don't have Japanese games, or they don't have AAA bangers. You know, all the stuff that they run, man. If you have Xbox, dude, and you're just playing games, dude, if you just stay off of social media, again, hat tip to Unlimited, man. Who does that? I see him bouncing from time to time, but he's all about his gaming, dude. If you just do that, all of this won't matter. I'm definitely gonna play. Just haven't played yet. Yeah, Shinzo, try and do it today, brother. I'm only saying that because I don't know how your work schedule is because a lot of us gonna go back on Monday to work, so I'm gonna try and get in more game time today, right? Because you know when you do it like the night during the week it's hard because we have to go to work. We still do it, right? And sometimes we stay up to 3 or 4 in the morning and we pay for it the next day. I know I do, man. I'm not young anymore. But if you do it on Saturday, at least you have Sunday to fall back on. At least that's the way I do it. So I was able to play some yesterday. Yeah, I put in about maybe 5, 6 hours. A lot of it was on the campaign, man, because I did the first run through, the first scenario, dude, and I ended up kind of replaying it because I want to. Again, I don't want to spoil it for you, but I wasn't playing it at the way I wanted to, or things weren't turning out the way I wanted to. So I spent like about an hour and a half just playing the first run through the campaign. Sorry, catching up. I'm sure I'll play through campaign before I play any more maps or multiplayer, if at least to get used to the new Omni movement. Yeah, that Omni movement is solid, dude. I did see where I think it was Xbox On gave a couple tips. I posted it on X about some things maybe not to do when you're playing Call of Duty Black Ops 6. And one of it was with the Omni movement because I see that all the time, dude. I saw a lot of people using it way too much because that's how I got kills. Because I saw this one dude, he was running and he did this flying thing. I don't know, maybe he meant to slide or I don't know. All I know is I saw him, he did this jumping thing and I was like watching him. I was like, I just kind of like took my rifle, I kind of turned it down to where he was gonna land, just headshot him. Because one of the things one of the checklist things was to get 10 headshots with a rifle. Yeah, so he gave me one of those headshots and I was kind of laughing. But then again, man, people are having so much fun with it, dude. They might be doing it on purpose because at the end of the day, it's just fun. And again, that's the biggest takeaway I'm coming right now from a limited time I played with Black Ops 6 and again the beta. It's just it brings back the fun to Call of Duty, right? I mean, there's stuff going on like every other Call of Duty game, but it seems to be pulled back a little bit more, and the focus is actually in the gunplay, in the gameplay, the gunplay, right? The actual challenge, um, going up and up with people, man, and you feel like everybody's playing and just enjoying themselves. Sinzo says, "Glad you're enjoying it, though fun. It's what it's all about." Yeah, dude. And again, this is why I love COD so much, especially the Black Ops series. I already, like I say, dude, I played in the campaign. I got this story in my head. I went back and played a couple of the previous ones um, to build up this to this one, but I couldn't find something like this too. But anyway, so I'm kind of in that zone already. And so when I played the campaign, which got me prepped for the multiplayer, yeah, dude, I'm loving it. I'm loving it so far, dude. I mean, we'll see how it goes along the way, man. COD is kind of like a live service game now, so we'll see what kind of changes they make. That's part for the course nowadays if you play shooters. My daughter complains about it all the time with Overwatch too, how they'll buff or certain characters, right? It drives her nuts. But COD, I've never known that COD to do that too much, right? Unless it's like a really atrocious thing. Like I remember the excuse me, guys, Modern Warfare 2, man. I used to love the sawed-off shotgun. Oh my gosh, man! I used to run around and just whack people all the time, dude. And people used to get pissed. Same thing, right? I like using the grenade launcher. This is why I don't give like I don't like quick scopers, man. But I'm the same way, dude. I was a YouTuber, so people used to get pissed off, dude, when I used to catch them with the grenade launcher. Yeah, but yeah, definitely check it out today, bro. I don't think you'd be disappointed. Vontae, I need to finish the story tonight. Hey, what's up, Vontae? You know what, Vontae, man? I'm gonna chill, man. I'm gonna take my time. Because when I went to the first half, or when I finished the first part, and then you go into the second part, I won't say because again I don't want to spoil it for everybody. But that kind of surprised me when I started the second campaign. I know you know what I'm talking about. It added a different element to COD I've never seen before. I could be wrong. I didn't actually play Cold War. I thought I did, but I did not. I need to go back and play that. I was watching a video that talked about it. Man, I'm old, guys. I can't keep up with all this stuff anymore. But Vante, yeah, man. I mean, if you finish it, go ahead, bro. But I'm gonna save it a little bit because already I'm thinking about going back and doing the first campaign again, just to do it in the way that I want to, like perfectly, you know. And that's what kind of blew me away about the game so far. It's just like there's layers to it. There definitely is layers to it. I'm not saying it's the deepest stuff, right? But I'm just saying is like it kind of took me by surprise, man. I've been enjoying the experience. But thanks, Vante. Welcome, brother. Sorry about yesterday, man. We were 6 hours deep. That was a long podcast. I don't expect everybody to watch it or watch the whole thing at least. But this one will focus on COD. Promise. Shinzo Elite Xbox is just fine. I've always got plenty to play. Yeah, Shinzo, that's true. I mean, if I'm being honest, we got too much to play. And I'm not. I mean, I don't want them to draw back, man, because I understand why they're doing it, right? The Netflix model. They call Game Pass the Netflix of gaming, but not just. But if you put Game Pass aside, there's so many games that drop every week. It's amazing to me, man. It's unfortunate again that people are so strapped for cash, man. Because I think people will be buying more games if they had the extra cash, right? Because I have on my wish list, and I put a bunch of games on my wish list that released over the last 3 weeks. At least I'd have to say between 3 and 5. Um, that many games a week, and that's because I don't want to lose track of them because that's what tends to happen with me. A couple of times I'll play a game and then they have the suggestions and the game that I was so interested in I had forgot about. Will pop up on the bottom, say, hey, if you like this game, you might like this game, right? But I mean, I don't want to leave it to chance. So what I do is I just wish list the majority of the games, and then go back when I have time because I definitely want to play Plucky Squire, dude. I've been looking forward to that game coming out. I will pay full price for that game. That's how much I want to play it. Um, and it's unfortunate, man. I think that's one of the problems with gaming right now, right? It's just people just don't have the additional cash. You hear it when we talk about it on the podcast, whether it's Unlimited, Sega Man's, when he bought does his, when I do mine. You hear everybody in the group talk about it, man. It's like you just can't go out and buy stuff. The big purchase I made this week, and I had to pull back on the games, was I bought the Call of Duty controller. Right, I bought the Series Elite 2. I didn't color it up as much. I didn't color it up at all. I love the color scheme they had for it. The only thing I did was I gave the directional pad the black, um, just a metallic black finish instead of the silver. Just so I think it fit better. But but because I did that, I didn't get my controller right away because they have to, of course, fix this. I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of people buying the controllers. Again, this is why I don't sweat Microsoft. when it comes to money in the vein that people think. Like if you go on YouTube right now, if you go on X, right, Xbox and Microsoft is broke, Xbox is doomed, Xbox is dead, Game Pass is dead, COD is dead, amazingly, right? All of this stuff, right? That all the narrative that's out there, the perception, as Hebot loves to say, is out there. And we all know it's not true, right? And then when I do something like I buy the controller, man, I know it's going to take a couple days, right? Because I made an adjustment to it. You're gonna have to do that, and I'm sure I'm not the only person doing it, man. COD is just a massive franchise, right? And we all know this, man, but we have to say it because, again, the narrative that's out there, the perception that is pushing or trying to push within the gaming community, which we all know is false, dude. Which we all know is false, man. The federal government went all in trying to block Microsoft from purchasing Activision King Blizzard. Right? Sony was on board for that because Sony knew. Sony knew from the jump what an impact this would have on them. I mean, you know, I understand, dude. I mean, anytime there's going to be a shift in the way things are done, especially when it's something that you enjoy, maybe it's a hobby or a lifestyle, right? But Microsoft is changing the gaming landscape, and we're all a part of it, dude. We're all on it for the ride, dude. You see the concerns guys like myself and other hardcore Xbox guys are talking about, right? I'll discuss a little bit Satya and the letters that was leaked, the memos that he sent out to his employees and to the investors, right? They're in flux. Microsoft is in flux. But I do realize, and you guys know I'm a scorched earth kind of guy. I go for the nuclear option all the time. But I do have to realize, and I think we all do, that had it not been for Microsoft doing certain things, and again, I don't agree with the stuff that I don't agree with. I'm never going to change. I'm not going to agree with them on it. Okay. But what I will say is that you can see what's happening with other companies, not just in gaming, but across the board. If you're not fluid, man, you have to be fluid. In this current state that the economy is in right now, you have to be fluid. You have to be fluid in your industry across the board, right? And if you're not, man, there's so much stuff going against you. If you're a small business owner, if you're a huge business, if you're a Fortune 500 company, right? If you're not fluid, man, dude, you're in trouble. You're in deep water. You're in deep kimchi. I just put it to you that way. And it's not fun, man. Yeah, Shen's is laughing. Yeah. Thanks, brother. Gotta stop chatting, so I'll just be listening. Nah, no problem, Shinzo, man. I appreciate you dropping in, man. Really do. But go play COD, man. I don't think you'll be disappointed, dude. It's been fun. And I've just scratched the surface. Because again, this game has layers, and I didn't know that they were going to do that. It's the same thing that happens when I play a game like Starfield, right? This is why I don't believe a lot of people play the game, right? Because once you start getting into it and doing the exploration and going to different parts of the map and seeing all the different habitats and seeing all the different creatures, and then they've been adding, right? They were constantly adding stuff, and everything's procedurally generated, but it's very, very. You can see like a pattern. You can see. There's a sameness to it, but not really. And one of the greatest things I experienced is I ended up on a planet, man, that had these big. Basically, they were like bones, dinosaur bones. They weren't dinosaurs, more monsters, but you know what I'm saying? These just big skeletons of these massive creatures, right? And that opened up a whole new avenue in my mind. It was like, okay, what's going on here? What's happening? Is this post? Well, what are we doing, right? And I spent, man, I got to be like 2 days just walking around that planet, just trying to find more stuff. Now, again, I know that's not how everybody likes to play their games. It's something that definitely fits in my wheelhouse. And I try and keep that in mind, right? Because it's why I love Starfield so much. It's one of the reasons I'm not playing it right now. Because once I get it because look, dude, I'm obsessed with these type of games, dude. Like, there's a game in Game Pass right now called Coral Island, dude. I started playing that game a couple months ago, dude, and I was just in that game nonstop playing hours in that game. Some of you guys are wondering, oh, why doesn't this guy have a higher gamer score? Or sometimes he has a bunch of achievements, and other times it's like dead silent. I was like, it just depends on the game I'm playing. Like I'm playing Darktide right now. I was playing Warhammer Darktide, dude, and I was just nonstop playing the multiplayer, man, trying to level up and just enjoying the combat, dude. Just getting better with my character, trying new guns, playing with a lot of different people, man. Some people definitely better than others, right? There was a point like when I started off the game, it was such a good community, and then you could tell over time, right, that people ended up, and this is not a bad thing, but then people were like, you could tell they're discovering stuff about the game, and they were more focused on those things, right? Just like when I was playing Black Ops 6, I was actually working on trying to stun people and get kills. I have to get like 10 of those type of kills so I can get the XP. And so, of course, if that's my focus, man, I'm not, I felt kind of bad because this guy was kind of following me in, and I did my thing in there, but I wanted to get the kill right away. What I should have done was throw my stuff in there, let him clear right, and then I should have followed behind him to pick people off. That was gonna, because he takes out the people that are stunned, then their guys are gonna come in. So what you do is you follow behind them and you try and take those guys out, right? But what I did was I was going for the kills because I stunned them, right? And I felt bad after that. I was like, oh, he probably thought I was gonna be his wingman, and here I am. I step off, right? I step up because I'm trying to get the XP. So I'm cognizant of that as well, right? Everybody's playing for specific reasons, and because I'm not on mic anymore, and most people aren't. That's one of the things I do miss, with all the racism, with all the freaking swearing and all that stuff that was the way it was back in the day in COD. Yeah, didn't like that. But I mean, when you were in a group of people and you were communicating, it did make it a lot more. You know, you guys were in step in gel, stuff like that. But I don't know. I think one of the things too about COD is it's such a different game from the earlier CODs. That's why it's great to go back and play some of the older ones to get an idea of how much has changed. Right. I'm hoping that Microsoft will just put all the CODs on Game Pass. Again, from the stuff we talked about yesterday, I understand you got to be careful with that. Just because the way Game Pass is, right? It is a service. It's not just for Xbox and Microsoft. It's also for their partners, their business partners, and the people that they have deals with. They got to keep that all in mind, right? And then they don't want to waste their money either. You sign a deal with companies like Square, and then you cut off your own, you cut your nose, spite your face because you put in all these other games that take away from that. I don't know how deep Microsoft thinks in that way. That's the way I think. Um, but eventually, man, if the subscribers, for me, it's all predicated if the subscriber count grows. Like in a sense of Netflix. And I'm not saying Game Pass is going to get this high, but it'd be great if they did. But I think Netflix right now sits around 257, maybe 300 million subscribers, active subscribers, right? And so, once like if Game Pass ever hits those heights, um, and I think it's still once the economy gets better, I think it'll start growing again, a lot more on the level that they expected it to. Um, but once it gets to that level, man, it's Katie by the door, guys. It's over, dude. They can just throw a bunch of stuff in there because as the community grows and as you get a lot more varied players that are playing the game, right? And then the thing about Game Pass, where I'm not worried about this like other people are, but I give credit for the few people who actually think this way. I think they're on the right track. But for somebody like me, since I am an Xbox guy, I'm pro Xbox channel, I want this to happen. But it comes to a point where it'll grow so big that you don't have to make deals with Square Enix. I'm pretty sure they will. But what I'm saying is they can't be ignored. Game Pass, Xbox, regardless of where you're playing it, whether it's on your Samsung TV, on your mobile phone, right, on the console, the way I like to enjoy it, on PC, right? If they have that type of consumer base, not just fan base, consumer base of people actually using it. That's why you hear Satya talk all the time. You saw some of the. I should have brought it up for you guys. I'm so bad. Um, but if you guys saw the documentation that was leaked about what Satya was telling the investors and the employees, right? It's like, what did they have? Like 21 billion dollar franchises, right? And not you're not talking $1 billion as how much they spent. It's talking about $1 billion, like what they're making on each of these franchises. And I think that's it's a very in a way a generic statement, which is fine. I mean, but it's probably some of them are probably over a billion, maybe in the 2 to 3 billion. Man. I mean, they have Minecraft guys. They own Minecraft, Sea of Thieves for some reason. Look, I don't hate Sea of Thieves, man. I played it. It's just not my cup of tea, man. I think it's cool. Like I love to explore the world, but it's definitely a game that kind of you want to play with people, right? And I can't play with people all the time because of the way I game and my schedule and stuff like that. So, um, you know what I'm saying? So people that love it, dude. Hey, more power to you, man. That it benefits all of us, right? Because you're participating and you're paying into the ecosystem, which we all benefit. That's one of the reasons why I stand up so much for Game Pass, because we all benefit from Game Pass in one way or another. That's why, again, as I was saying yesterday, guys, don't feel bad about Game Pass. Don't let people shame you into Game Pass. Yes, we want Game Pass to grow because that will benefit us even more, and that'll help Microsoft, and that'll help Xbox definitely, and Phil and his crew do the things that they need to do to make the service even better and to provide more for the service, and not just games, man, but they could expand the service to do a lot of other things. You saw what they did when they put Overwatch 2 into Game Pass. They put Overwatch 2 into Game Pass, and then because my daughter was happy about it, you got perks off of that, right? And it wasn't perks where upset the bigger Overwatch community, right? It was perks that was like, hey man, thanks for being in Game Pass. Here you go. And then because most of the skins my daughter has, but just one of the skins she didn't have, so she was happy about that, but she didn't have to buy it. So little things like that, that Microsoft and Xbox can do, Phil and the crew can do, if they get more, if they get more leeway, more money, right, more subscribers, man. Again, so and then again, don't feel, if you want to. Somebody put this on Twitter, and I should have bookmarked it, and I know I didn't because I was looking for it earlier. But somebody put this to give people perspective, right, where it shows how much it will cost you to buy a game, and how much it will cost you if you pay for a year of Game Pass. Now, of course, right, even if you're buying one game, that's like $70, but you're gonna pay more on Game Pass because you're paying monthly, right? And then they raise the price of Game Pass, so don't feel like you're hurting. You know what I'm saying? Everything you do that sends them money is helping, right? Don't listen to these guys, man. These are the last people you need to be listening to. All the haters out there, the gaming media, man, they're very pro Sony, pro PlayStation, dude. The day that Sony and the PlayStation dies, dude, they'll be gnashing and grinding of teeth. It'll be Judgment Day for these guys, man. They will be very sad, right? We're gonna have to talk these dudes off ledges. We're gonna have to be nice for at least one day or maybe a week, man, until they, so they don't commit Harry Carey, right? These guys will lose their minds. I'm just being honest. Right, and it's not to hate on them. It's just being honest. If it grows to that levels, which we want, dude, because it benefits us, dude. And there's nothing wrong with us benefiting from all of this. Again, I'm gonna go online today. I'm gonna go look at some games that I'm thinking about picking up, man. There's some movies that I'm gonna go buy, right? There's some seasons that I'm gonna go buy, right? Because again, Xbox All In, dude, the all-in-one box, man. That's why this is the all-in channel. This is where I want to take advantage of everything, so that when I do want to take a break from COD, right? Because look, dude, I'm not. I tell you guys all the time, I'm not young anymore, dude. I can't do these 6 hours, man. That shit. I was trying to do the 6. I was trying to play nonstop. I had to get up, man. Leg falling asleep, knee was getting a bit sore, my butt was getting numb, and I have an office chair that I sit in, dude, and I still have to get up and do a walk around, take a break, man. My eyes are a little bit sore, right? Yeah, I'm not a youngin' anymore, man. So a lot of us aren't. And if you want to participate in this gaming space, especially when it comes to COD, dude, you gotta learn how to do the little things, man. Like stand up, walk downstairs, go outside. Maybe work in the yard a little bit, which I meant to do this morning, but it started storming here. We had a flash flood warning. I couldn't believe it. I was like, "This is supposed to be sunny." That's why I never trust weathermen. They threw all my stuff off today, what I was gonna do outside. But that's what you do, man. Especially if you're old, man. Look, you gotta step away. Right, leave it to the youngins, man. Leave it to all you young guns out there. You guys get to go into these leagues now and make money, like we never got to. Me, he bought Sega, man, dude. If we had that when we were younger, we'd probably be millionaires. Used to play so much games, man. We're pretty good too. Not trying to toot my own horn, just saying we old school, And but props to the younger generation, man. Enjoy every bit of it, man. It's good to see. Right, it's something. Dude, I have no hate for that, man. It's the natural progression of things, and it's the organic and natural progression of video gaming, man. And if people can make a buck off of it, do more power to you. Especially now, you know what I'm saying? If you get to enjoy your hobby, spend time with it, man, and you get to get paid, dude. Again, more power to you. Did I catch everybody? Oh yeah, I'm caught up. Okay. A couple of things though, man. So again, advertising, dude. I just can't help but talk about it enough, man, because it's just so amazing to me, man. Because when I'm not on COD, I see the advertisements everywhere, because I'm on my computer looking at my email, man. I got stuff running in the background, and then a COD commercial pops up. Or I'm on X, COD commercial pops up, right? And they're good too, man. Like one of the best ones I've seen, dude. And I'll try and do this. I'll try and transition to it, guys, as best I can. But you know your boy is a bit challenged, man. But right here, dude. Can you guys see it? Let me try and make it. Yeah, dude, I absolutely love this. Dude. Look at this, man. I mean, I've been talking about the commercials. I shared some yesterday when it comes to the replacer. And look at this, dude. They went so far as to replacing memes. Of course, we all know that's the Leonardo DiCaprio one, man, because I use this all the time. I use this all the time for everything. And then, of course, this is the Kermit the Frog one. Um, maybe I can. Maybe I went a little bit too big on this. Hold on. Let me try and shift it. I guess not, yeah. Like I said, dude, I'm not the best at this, but just wanted to share this, dude. I think this is amazing, the way that they did this. Does it play? I thought it played. Can I play? Oh yeah, it'll play. Hold on. Look at that, dude. The Simpsons, the Willy Wonka. I love that one. Man, dude, this is epic, man. This takes me back. Look at that, dude. Oh, that's the thing, yeah. Yeah, man. So that's COD, dude. If you guys are old like me, you know this, right? You guys remember when COD hit, and this is the stuff they would do all the time. Man. Just, but I don't know what they did, dude. They maybe they went look back in the archives, started I don't know, man. All I know is, dude, they're on point. But it's not that they just took it back, dude. They brought it forward, and they just went again. They just freaking went. Basically, they went plus ultra on this stuff, and it's been nonstop, man. I mean, look, the game's out already, and they don't care, dude. They're just pushing and pushing and pushing. Dude, the marketing on this, man. I don't know how much this stuff is cost. It's probably beneficial to them because they are underneath Microsoft right now. Again, talked about this in yesterday's podcast about how what a lot of you guys are seeing right now. Something I know I talked about, all the other guys talked about. It's the benefits of being under Microsoft as a corporation. Look, there's always good, there's always positive, and there's always negatives. There's always good and always bad. And you're a little bit weary of the future because the changing of the guard and all of this stuff can collapse, right? If Phil's gone, Sarah, or maybe there's a fallout or whatever, right? It's like anything else, right? Any other business, any other like politics, industry, um, whatever it is, government. When there's a changing of a guard, right, then things can go bad. And so, but I'm going to enjoy the ride, dude, because this is what it's all about at the end of the day, right? As I'm playing the game and enjoying it, as I'm playing the story mode, um, love the experience so much, so I'm going to take my time to get through it. Played the multiplayer yesterday; it was on point. Felt like old times, so I was having good times. Um, but you can tell, man, it seems like a labor of love for these guys, right? And a lot of that, and I'm not saying the other games are bad, but what I do recognize, and this is my opinion, you guys can disagree with me if you want. But what I recognize about all of this is like I feel that this is the product that the guys at Activision came up with because they didn't have as much pressure, right? They have a little bit more freedom. They're allowed to create all the stuff that you see Microsoft is doing with each and every one of their studios, which they never get enough credit for, man. That's why I always talk about it on my channel, right? Because they deserve kudos for that, man. Because you can see what happens outside, man, when other companies or other development teams don't have it that way. You know what I'm saying? Like, some of these guys, man, they're dropping like their development teams, right? Because they just didn't hit their profit point or profit margin. Which again, man, in this economic times, a lot of people won't, right? So again, this is why it's important that Microsoft stays fluid, right? They do that, and then people can maintain jobs. But even Microsoft had to lay people off. Now, there's some reasonings I believe why they did what they did. I won't go into that here because that's a whole other video, and then we can, that'll be another 6 hours. I don't want to do that today. In fact, how long are we running right now? Can't really tell. Okay, let me get back to the chat real quick. Macaulay, they woke Call of Duty. I wish it was like the old days. I mean, I look, Macaulay. I see some of it, dude. I don't know if you follow Andy Pants. If you don't follow Andy Pants, go subscribe to his channel, man. This dude's been on a crusade as of late. I do understand what Andy's saying, but it could have been worse. Let's be honest, Macaulay. It could have been worse. It could have been way worse. But I understand what you're saying. There's little hints of it here and there in the game, man. And of course, when it comes to that times of the year, Call of Duty will be right on board. I mean, that's just the nature of the beast with these guys. But if it bothers you, totally understand. If you didn't buy, like some people I know, they didn't buy the $30 thing because they're like, look, I have it on Game Pass to assuage my conscience, right? I'll just play it in Game Pass, and that's something that Microsoft will have to think about in Activision, right? Because I know a couple of people, because these guys are hardcore COD, and we've been talking about it, right? But these guys are also they don't like the woke, they don't like the woke at all. They don't want nothing to do with it. I don't like either, man. You guys seen the videos I did on my channel, but I mean, at the end of the day, they were like, at the end of the day, they're like, I can't in good conscience buy the game. Some of them won't. I know at least a couple of them will not play it at all. You know, hey, respect, man, right? Big Ten, right? We gotta respect everybody's opinion, so I'm not gonna hate on that, right? Like, and the same thing with me, man. They don't hate on me for playing it. They know we're all COD guys, dude. It's like one of those things. Hey, let's get the band back together, right? But it ain't gonna happen because the band don't want to get back together because a couple of them are not gonna. They won't play COD at all, and a couple of them will play it in Game Pass. So maybe I'll hook up with them. Plus, we're all over the place now, and it's interesting, man. Like this stuff pops up, and then that's the only time we'll kind of hear from each other, man. But we've all gotten older. We all got different, opinions on stuff. So, I'm not really different opinions, man. But I understand their perspective. But Macaulay, man, I don't know if you follow Andy Pants, but definitely go check out his channel, man. He's been talking about it a lot. And after playing the game, yeah, I see some. But again, Microsoft is one of the few companies that don't go all in on this stuff. Well, I shouldn't say that. They have a couple games anyway. It could be worse, is all I'm saying. But I respect everybody's. That's something that Activision and Microsoft got to work out. They could be losing. They could be losing sales on this stuff. So it is what it is. I know they like to, the thing about Microsoft, dude, they have an ideology, but I will say this much, man, they try and stick to it as much as possible. When they want everybody to play, they actually mean that kind of stuff. Now, with that being said, is that the reality that they should be doing? That's where people have the disagreements. Macaulay, Battlefield went under. Koch said, hold my beer. Battlefield was bad, though, Macaulay. And the only reason I say Battlefield was kind of worse is because of the way they did it, right? Like for me, the reason I played Battlefield and because I wanted something different from COD, taking a break from COD to go to Battlefield, man. It's definitely more. They try and they push. They're kind of like Assassin's Creed, right? They say they don't, man, but there's just this level of realism to it that they rely on, right? And I know they went modern and they're updating their stuff. That was the big thing about that. Was it Battlefield 4 that everybody was looking forward to? I know I was, right? But as soon as they started like doing some of the things that other companies are doing, right? Because that was the thing to do. This is why a lot of these companies can't course correct even if they want to when it comes to DEI, because a lot of this stuff is in the making for years, right? So, but yeah, I mean, I feel for them, dude, because another reason they did that is, they wanted to compete with COD, man, and it's just hard because, Battlefield should be Battlefield. At the end of the day, man, guys, what's going on? I think. I'm sorry, I don't know what that binging is. I don't think it's the comments, is it? If it is, that's cool. But at the end of the day, Macaulay, I mean, they are who they are, and a lot of their fans. And of course, look, dude, like anything else, man, there's people that are chiming in and stuff like that. But I know, dude, because you go to war with these guys, right? If you're a COD guy, and I mean, I'm not that deep into it. Like I'm more deep in it, like when it comes to like PlayStation versus Xbox, right? And you guys know that on my channel. But when it comes to Call of Duty, man, I love Call of Duty more. That's my option. That's my go-to. But I don't mind playing Battlefield. I think Battlefield's good. Sometimes I won't play it just because I'm not good at it, dude. I feel bad for the people I play with. I'm not good at the game. But I love how it's open. I love how you're just in there, like you can be a medic, an engineer, right? You're part of the team, right? You're in there. It's like Saving Private Ryan is one of my favorite movies. That's why I like the old school Battlefield stuff, in World War II. And I'll be honest with you, man, they just kind of stepped away for that. They were trying to. I could see what they were doing business wise, and then of course the stupidest thing that anybody can do, right, was when that guy told the general public, hey, if you don't like our game, don't play it or don't buy it, right? And what did people do? They're like, all right, fine, don't do that. Don't do that. If you're a business, don't ever do that. Remember, the customer's always right, even if they're not. I understand, man. Like most of the time, the customer's wrong, right? Because in a sense, right, they don't know everything that goes on in the background, but they're the customer. That's why they're always right. And a lot of these companies got to get back to that because they're just shooting themselves in the foot at the end of the day, right? It is what it is, bro. You know. Shinzo, get off my lawn. Yeah, that's me every day, man. That's me when I get up and I'm like, I can't stand up right away, man, because my back is killing me. Right, my feet are swollen now for whatever reason. Gotta go get those checked. Gotta get that checked. Right, because I fell, dude. I fell. And actually, I think I might have a concussion too, man. They're gonna run X-rays on me because of my eyes. My vision's kind of bad. And I'm not using that as an excuse for COD, guys. I mean, I did take a fall. I think I do might have some vision issues, man, but I have glasses. Right? I'm not gonna use that as an excuse. I'll be honest. I'm just old. Like I was playing yesterday, man, and for some reason, man, I see the guy, and even when I got the drop on him, man, I just couldn't align my shot like I used to. Oh, like this is pathetic, man. I basically was like giving these guys free kills, man. Man, if there was a player of the game, the other team would have nominated me. I remember one guy I was trying to shoot him. Right, and I was like, "What's going on?" He just basically just stood there as if, and I could tell his character just standing there. The other dude was just laughing at me, or he felt sorry for me, one of the two. Anyway, I don't care. I have a good time, and that's what it's all about. David Cohen. It looks like COD Black Ops 6 is getting people subbed to Xbox Game Pass. Ultimate, perhaps COD has a bright future after all. Oh, yeah, dude. Now, David, I'll be honest with you, bro. I didn't believe any of that stuff, dude, because I was there when a lot of the people transitioned from Xbox over. They transitioned from Xbox over to a PlayStation. Because, the game that got me to buy an Xbox, guys, I'm going to have to shut this stuff down. I think it's the thing. Oh, before I shut this down, guys, I'm sorry. Just let me share this real quick. Let me share this one. I got to share this. And David, I will continue. Because I want to shut this down because it's making too much noise. This is one of my favorite ones that they did.
¿Quién es este güey?
Carlos está jugando Call of Duty.
Soy el replacer. Uno más, hombre.
I love that one, dude. That's one of my favorite ones that they did. I wanted to share that yesterday, but we got caught up and stuff. But to your point, David, yeah, I was there when it happened, when everybody transitioned over. Probably one of the biggest mistakes Microsoft ever made, because I'm not saying they were feeling themselves, but they were the shooter box and they had more than COD. But I guess they didn't realize how big COD was, because the premium place to play COD, it was on Xbox. But the branding of COD, I don't think people understood how. And this is why I say this all the time on my channel, dude. Gamers aren't gamers anymore. They're brand gamers. Brand is a thing now for us in the gaming community, right? People will stick to brands. This is why you see Sony trying their best to build gas games, right? Because they see that's where the money's at. They would rely on COD a lot. They rely on a lot of the stuff that they do relies on third-party stuff. But COD was one of the biggest ones, man. I wouldn't be surprised. This is what people are saying, and I'm 100%. I believe this is that they would use that money to fund, right? To fund their other projects. And if we're being honest, man, if you guys look at the way COD is and the way PlayStation's launch schedule is, man, PlayStation doesn't have that many AAA or IPs from their studios. Right? There's lows, man. It takes years. They're not as bad as Nintendo. Right? Nintendo's probably the worst, but Nintendo don't care. Nintendo will just do Nintendo. Will be Nintendo. Right? But on the thing of Sony, man, if you just go back and look at the patterns of it, right, there was a rhythm and a rhyme to what they did. And one of the things one of the reasons why they could do that is because people who are more general players, not hardcore ponies, man, since they're on that system, they would just buy the games for that system. Now, we'll take all the other stuff aside, man. I want to do a podcast with the boys because they know a lot more about this than I do. Unlimited Productions talked about on his podcast the other day, where they're talking about physical versus digital, and I think that's playing into it as well. But at the end of the day, man, it was losing COD that caused a lot of people to flip, right? Because a lot of people want to play the maps first, all that stuff. That's why Phil Spencer always talked negatively about that. And I think that's a personal thing for Phil, not so much a business aspect, because they didn't do it when they brought COD back. Right? This is why I don't care if Microsoft buys everybody, right? Because what they do is they tend to, do what's best for the game, for the people working there. Economy aside, layoffs aside, right? But they try and do what's best for everyone, at least for now, right? So again, this is why I push they should buy Sega. This is why I push they should buy EA. It'd be amazing if they got a company like Steam. So we're not Steam, is it Valve? Steam is their service, right? My bad. I'm not the PC person, and Dia's not here to correct me. Hopefully, I didn't mess it up. But yeah, I love this. Yeah, this is why they got it. Drive subscriptions and then get the majority of the money. And I'm not saying they did this to cut Sony off as a knees. And I don't think they did, because I would love it. I would love it if they did this. And again, this is not how Phil conducts himself or presents himself to be, and that's fine. But in my mind, I would like to think that this is a little shot at Sony, right, to take away, because Microsoft is cognizant of the fact, as we saw last week when the news came out, which was not shocking to most of us that knows what's going on, man. But Sony money has games, right? And so you take away one of their avenues of doing that, right? And COD was a big way that they did that, right? Because the profit margin on that game. Because remember now, COD is almost a live service game, so there's going to be people buying battle passes, people buying skins, people are going to donate to the fund that they run on there because of the military, right? I mean, so and the reason why I say that is because it just you have people just participating in that ecosystem of COD, right? So for me, it's like Microsoft just go all in, Xbox go all in what they do, make it a gaming hub, and when you do that, dude, it'll be it's like your one-stop shop, because whether people want to accept this or not, this is how people play their games now. This is why you have like some of the best rated games. You'll play the games, and then you'd be like, dude, this is going to sell 5-6 million copies, man, and it doesn't even break like 100,000, right? Because gamers are still kind of niche. I say that all the time on my channel, dude. I'm just basing it on what I see, because with Game Pass and some of the games that we're getting, dude, a lot of these games should be breaking million easy, and they're not. Especially when you have a base, right, of 100. How much? In Sony's case, 1 billion people by now, right? But in Xbox's case, at least 35-40 million, just on the current systems alone, right? So not even a high percentage of people are buying games, right? This is, again, and Microsoft knows this. That's why you have Game Pass, so that everybody can play games, and that can help grow, and they can even make money off of that, right? Because what I'm doing with Game Pass is I'm finding a lot of publishers I never knew about, right? And I see the games, and I'm like, oh, dude, this guy made this game. Like, I'll play a game, I'll love it, then I'll look at the publisher, then I'll just do a Bing search, right? Get my 5 points, my daily 5. Do a Bing search, and then I'm like, oh, this dude did these other games too. And what I end up doing, man, is because maybe I don't have those games, I'll go and buy those games too. I mean, I'm not saying everybody does that, but that's what I do. They're definitely getting their money from me, right? And I do everything to maximize getting my money from Microsoft. Don't get it twisted. I do that, right? You do have rewards that you can take advantage of now. Because if you're going to spend your money, you might as well get money back from it. Right? And again, it's all about options, man. This is why I love Xbox, and why I'm in the ecosystem of Xbox. I'll be honest with you guys, I don't know what that noise is. What is that, dude? I have no idea what that is. Is that? Sorry, I'm checking something, guys. Nope. Sorry, just gonna have to bear with me, guys. Sorry about that. Macaulay says, I hope COD goes back to its roots in the coming likely change in administration. So much ESG ruins it. Totally centered to and anti-Western. I'll be honest with you, Macaulay. The Black Ops that you're getting, man, it could have been way worse, dude. Trust me. It could have been way worse. Right. But at the end of the day, man, if you've been keeping up with everything that's been going on in the gaming community on the political front, and again, I'm not going to make this a political podcast, but what I will say is that, there's a lot of stuff. I use Disney as a perfect example, right? A lot of the talent that they had left, right? They were either pushed out or they left because it wasn't the company that they enjoyed working for anymore, man. Because they hired a lot of people whose focus was on all this DEI and ESG thing. And of course, when you have corporations getting involved, right, and politics getting involved, it just ruined everything. So I mean, I'll take it, Macaulay. I understand what you're saying. And I agree with you. Yeah, I think ESG is bad. Let people be creative. This is why when I was growing up, people was like, "Oh, you shouldn't regulate this or you shouldn't do that," right? And I totally understand that. Right? I totally do. Dude, that thing is driving me nuts. It really is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what I have open, and I can't really look at it right now because I'm doing the stream. But it drives me nuts as well, dude. I'm in the same boat as you, but I'll take it for now. But I think there is a the pendulum is coming to the other side. And of course, man, live by the sword, die by the sword, man. A lot of these people are gonna pay a price, and there's gonna be friendly fire. That's just the logistics of it, because it was the other way, right? It's like you were just a fan of Star Wars, and you just wanted to see the original actors all together in one scene, in A New Hope, or not A New Hope, but Episode 7, right? You just wanted to see that one shot, and you never got it, and then later on you find out why. But when you would say something, right, these guys would just attack you. Like, oh, why do you hate women? But you're not for a strong woman. I'm like, no, dude, I just want to see Luke, Leia, and Han together, man. The whole deadbeat dad thing didn't bother me as much because I know at the end of the day they probably had to do it to get Harrison. If you're a Star Wars fan, Harrison Ford is not big on his Star Wars stuff. He just hasn't been for whatever reasons, man. I mean, I personally think Harrison Ford is just a grouchy old man. If I ever get like that, man, I'll tell my kids put me out of my misery. That's horrible. Like he's just not. He's always been a kind of a Hollywood type, and he wanted to be taken seriously, and he's done some great movies, man. But I think the direction that he went with a lot of his movies, up until he did Witness. Witness is an awesome movie, by the way. He wasn't. I don't think he felt like he got his accolades as far as being a thespian, like a lot of these Hollywood types want to be. Which nobody is. Let's be honest with you. I'll be honest with you. Nobody's that way anymore. Very few, man. Denzel is one. A lot of the great thespians are passing away. Like a day doesn't go by where I open up my social media and then somebody's passed, which again talks to me about my own mortality. Macaulay, I don't need all those flags and immersion breaking nonsense. Imagine what the reaction would be if it was other pro politics stuff on that. No, 100%, 100%. And people have talked about that, dude. Like if there's a MAGA flag in there, or MAGA hat, or dark MAGA, or if Elon Musk was in if Elon Musk right now was in the zombie on the zombie mode, like I did the story mode. Oh, okay, I don't want to spoil it. So they normally get actors and people of prominence or people that are popular in pop culture to be in their games, right? Whether it's like somebody who's a rapper, a basketball player, like somebody like that. Right? But that's what I love. I love those old Call of Duty commercials, man. When you remember when Kobe was in there and old girl was flying the plane and all that kind of stuff, right? I have no problem with that, dude. Right, but you're 100% right, dude. If it was like Trump or if it was Elon, especially, dude, because Elon, they really hate him, dude. Because I mean, that dude just went like Elon right now is doing this thing. Like if you sign this petition, you get entered into a drawing where they give $1 million. So some people thought it was fake until people started posting, right, that they got $1 million check, and then one of the ladies she went on X and said, "Thank you, Mr. Musk. The $1 million was deposited in my account, or the money was deposited in my account. I don't know how all the taxes and all that stuff is on that, but And she did, and all she did was go on to this thing. Like if you're in just to let you guys know, if you're in a swing state and you want to sign the petition, you don't have to. The petition is for you support the First Amendment, which all of us should do. Second Amendment was I'm pro Second Amendment. But if you in a swing state and you believe in that stuff, just go and sign it. Even if you don't believe in it, you can go and sign it, right? And I think the only thing they ask is you got to take a picture showing that you won $1 million, stuff like that. I don't know. You have to read the fine print. I'm not sure, right? But if I was in one of these swing states, dude, I would definitely be signing the petition, right? I'd be like, oh yeah, sign me up, dude. I could use $1 million. And I think they do it daily, man. I think they do it every day. Somebody gets $1 million. See, and again, okay, I'll just say this, man. This is the kind of stuff that if I was if you're Bill Gates, especially, right? You see Bill Gates going around doing all this kind of stuff, man. He wants vaccines. He wants human computers. This dude wants to buying up all the farmland. Wants you to debugs all this stuff for the betterment of mankind. I'm like, you know how you could really better mankind, Bill, man. Just why don't you go to an area that's devastated, or not even devastated? Just go into an area where I'm pretty sure you can run the numbers where people are struggling, and you look at that area and you see oh man, these guys are struggling. you know, it'd be great if I just paid off their mortgage. Why don't these guys do stuff like that? This is why I don't like billionaires and all these people with money that talk about they want to make change and stuff like that. Because it's normally they want to make change, but they really don't want to make change. They want to, number one, they feel guilty or they want to feel good about themselves, and then they do these changes, right? Which makes it worse for everybody else, right? Because of course they go to political route. Right? You see all these guys coming off for their candidates of choice, and I'm like, no, dude. Just stay in your mansion, bro. And, you know, on your little gold poles that I see that you guys have, you guys talk about, do your thing. You know, stay out of my business. You know, with friends like those, you don't need enemies. But I'm Macaulay, yes, 100%, dude. It wouldn't. Dude, people would be losing their minds, dude. Because I see people with Trump stuff and in the lobbies and all that stuff. But you know, and that's can't. I don't see it like because you know what can you really do? But if they did that as a company, man, they won't. Trust me, they won't. Macaulay, they censor the heck out of COD now. Lobbies, etc. Yes, Macaulay, because it's for the greater good, right? You can't have people saying whatever they want to say. yeah. This is why I don't believe in censorship, right? Because it always goes, you know, starts off with great intentions, but again, we all know what the road to hell is paved with, right? And that's what it is. That's what it's all about. Look at what happened to Nick Merckx. I didn't even really know the guy. I've heard him or heard of him, but it made me go and look and research who this guy is, man, because of what happened to him. And I'm like, dude, you just can't have an opinion. You know what I'm saying? Right? And this is why, like, the whole thing is backfiring on them, right? Because they just won't stop at certain people, right? In the beginning, it's okay because if you're a Trump supporter, they attack you, right? And then if you're or if you're a Republican, they'll attack you, all that kind of stuff. Now you don't have to be that, right? Whatever, because whatever that you do, right, or that you say that they don't agree with, you're a Nazi. And that's why all of this stuff is happening. That's why I don't have no sympathy for them, dude. They kind of made their bed. Now they gotta lay in it. And because this is why you see, like, you just go on YouTube, do researches, man. I saw this one person is like everything she believes in is on the left of politics. And then she did this one thing, and it was about immigration. She did not agree with it, illegal immigration. And she said illegal immigration, illegal immigrant, and then her whole circle collapsed around her. And she goes to a rally. Right, she talks to other people, found a new group of people to be with, and then, you know. But that's what's happening. That's why, yeah, I don't believe in censorship at all, dude. Because at the end of the day, somebody's gonna have to like who is making these decisions, right? Macaulay, COD shouldn't pander to the Sony guys. Part of the problem. Phil wants to cuck Xbox in every way. Well, it's not just Phil, right? I mean, Microsoft is looking at it from a business perspective, right? They're not going to say no to the money. But I think, you know, going back to what you just said about censoring and stuff like that, it's interesting that Microsoft is kind of leaving it to the actual consumer to make that decision. And I think they feel confident, especially when I listen to Satya talk about stuff too. He feels very confident, like it doesn't even bother him, all this stuff. You know, and I understand he's a CEO. He's not going to get into the weeds like where we are. But everything he does that I've watched, man, he has no concern. So I think they're just going to leave it to the people. And then what you're seeing right now is people starting to come over. Because it just makes more sense, right? You know, you're not only getting COD, especially if you're a gamer, you're not only getting COD, right? You're getting all these other games on Game Pass. You're getting a better ecosystem, right? Even if you just play COD and you want to stay on PlayStation, that's going to Microsoft. Sony's getting a cut of that, which I believe is 20, either 30 or 20% of that. But still, the majority of that's coming to Microsoft. It's crazy, dude. And they already got Minecraft over there. Right? So I like to think they're doing it death by 1,000 cuts. Again, I would have gone the hard route, but that's why I'm doing this podcast. I'm not running Xbox. Shout out to Phil. Macaulay. Phil looks like a tired shell of a man who's made a mockery of everything they touch. Dude, I don't blame him. He looks very tired. He looks older. He looks older, man. When you know, he with the whole Indiana Jones thing, man, I think that added a little more gray hair, man. I won't crap on the man that much, dude, because I understand. And I appreciate the stuff that he has done, dude, because Xbox, the complete turnaround that they did, man, that merits giving him credit, you know, giving him his kudos. You know, I won't hate on the man for that, but, man, I ain't going to lie, brother. I agree, dude. He looks tired. You know, and I think they're gearing up Sarah. I wouldn't be surprised if Sarah steps in sooner rather than later. Sarah got the energy. She's younger. I think Phil, you know, kudos to Phil, man. He's done so much for Xbox. Again, didn't agree with everything he says. Right? But again, Macaulay, keep in mind, dude, that the Xbox we grew up in, man, we're just in different times as well. I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but what I am saying, dude, it is different. I feel it too, bro. I feel old all the time now, man. When I'm playing games now, I'm like, dang, dude. You know, like some of the games I play, because I love sim games, dude. But when you play a sim game now, dude, look at RPG in there, dude. You gotta go collect stuff, but also finish stuff. Man, they have some of them have freaking a little bit of soul stuff in there because you gotta beat some boss. I'm like, what is this, dude? I just want to grow tomatoes, man. I just want to grow tomatoes and make my 5-star tomato soup. You know what I'm saying? That's why I like that sushi roll game, dude. It's pretty basic. It reminds me of easier times, but man, these games are so leveled up now, dude. Sometimes I don't like, dude. I'm too old for this. I'm not gonna lie. Kavari, what's up, brother? What up? Yeah, he says. Kavari says at the end, Xbox will overtake Sony PlayStation with cloud gaming. Is the future? Yeah, yeah. I mean, when they talk about Sony being a customer of Xbox, that's gonna be. Man, that ponies won't like that at all, bro. I believe. Yeah, I agree with you, Kavari. I mean, if they can get it to that level, I forgot who was talking about it. Dang, I want to give him props, man. One of the guys was talking about this. They were talking about what's that new GeForce Now? And he was praising GeForce Now. Was it 100? Might have been 100. But he's praising GeForce Now, man. And from what he said, man, rightfully so. I mean, if they can get it on that level, where it feels like you're playing it on the console, like you have a disc in the console and you're playing it um, with that type of no hiccups, no nothing, right? Then I mean, that's the future, dude. Look at what happened with Netflix, dude. I just tell this story real quick. I was one of the testers for Netflix, right? And it was horrible. And that's when we were doing bail, man. I was like, I would order like I was trying to watch I want to watch rewatch the season of was it Buffy? I think it was Buffy the Vampire Slayer. And I wanted to rewatch that season, man. Like I could get seasons 1 and 2, but I couldn't get season 3. Could get season 4. Couldn't get season 5, right? Because it's multiple discs. But I wrote my stuff in. Then I was one of the testers for digital. Probably because I live out here, and digital was, not that the offerings were bad, but it just wasn't good. The thing with freeze and stutter. Um, but I mean, all of that is not even a thought process, and they don't even. Oh, I think they stopped doing this year. My friend was telling me because my friend would still get the discs, right? Because when you watch certain things, right, you just want to watch it, pop it in. They would watch it on. They had a setup outside, and he would use his PC and connect it to a projector, and just watch it on a big, one of the big screens, pull down screens. They love doing that. Because in Hawaii, where I live, bro, it's hot and humid. So where he lives at nighttime, dude, where they have everything set up, there's a nice breeze. It's cool. So they like to go out, man, drink a few Mai Tais, and relax and watch a good show. And then, of course, with the disc, man, you can return it anytime you want to. But all of that's gone now. Now he has to do digital. He'll probably download it. I'm just saying. Macaulay, when is the next Zobi Cross Xbox Online podcast? Yeah, I'll talk to Zobi, man. I'll talk to him. But Zobi's kind of given up on gaming, man. Zobi, I mean, I think he still does Nintendo, man. But if you see Zobi's videos, man, he'll pop in the comment section, man. I tell him if he wants to pop in. I think he wants to do I kind of wanted to do. I know he was down for this, man. A political podcast. I wanted to do that with him, man, because we're kind of outside the box when it comes to politics, right? We don't. Me and him don't go by the norm. I'm not saying we agree on everything, but just like with gaming, you know what I mean. But yeah, if he's game, I'm more than game for it. But I don't know. He's been I think he's been getting back into collecting figures and anime. I don't know about the anime part, but I'm pretty sure about the figures. And then again, I've been trying to manage my time with this podcast and also doing my gaming. But yeah, don't worry, Macaulay. No drama, man. No bad blood, man. I always enjoy when Zobi comes on here. Macaulay, Nintendo is mainstream. Xbox was mainstream, and they need to get back to that. No more ESG, woke, and Game Pass needs to move away from indie stuff that isn't curated. Well, I think because of the way Nintendo is, Nintendo puts a high value on their product, man, and because it's their creation, right? But it's also their money, right? And that's just a Japanese thing. So, yeah, and then honestly, Xbox, I don't think they could ever go mainstream. on that level. Um, I mean, they can try. I mean, it'll benefit me, right? The more they offer, the better, right? I still love playing platformers, but Nintendo's got that on lock, man. Nintendo's just like Disney, you know. I don't care for Disney, you know, at least because it's not the Disney I know or I grew up with. But they're such a powerful brand, man. They can just continue to just burn money. I mean, eventually it'll come to an end, but I don't know. I don't see it. But yeah, Xbox doesn't have that. I mean, I think a 360 about as mainstream as they'll go. I just think they're just gonna use their money, Macaulay, to just to just to just force their way into things. And since I enjoy their services, I have no problem with that. Macaulay, too many woke employees at Microsoft. We need to tell them to go back to roots. Yeah, it'd be good if they went back to their basics, but Macaulay, you know, how can I put this, man? You know, guys like me, I'm like I know I'm older. You have a new generation of people, maybe the Z generation. It seems like things are coming back around. You know, things move in cycles. But you know, there's a generation of people that were raised on this, is raised on this stuff. That's why it permeates everything. Permeates everything. That's why a lot of people are like surprised by it, right? They're like, dude, why is it like this? And you know, it's just not the people on the top. It's not just the HR dude. It's not the DEI company or the DEI company they partner with or the DEI division that they install in their company, right? It's even in the just the every average employees. Man, look, all you have to do, dude, is go on YouTube and just do something like Blazing Saddles. I don't know if you know what that movie is. It's an awesome movie. But you go watch Blazing Saddles and then go watch reactions because it's usually younger people watching it because they've never seen it before, and just see how they react to Blazing Saddles, like the looks on their faces. Kind of some of them are disgusted. You know, guys like me who remember Blazing Saddles when it first released. The reason they did Blazing Saddles, right? It was like a tongue-in-cheek, kind of subversive way to talk about certain things that you couldn't outright talk about in Hollywood or in the general public, right? And that was with a lot of the shows that we grew up, all the sitcoms we grew up in. There were messaging in there, but they were just really good shows, and you loved the characters and the people, the actors and the actresses, right? You know, even to this day, man. Like I said, I just bought Family Matters. I just bought Magnum PI. I bought a bunch of stuff, you know. I just bought Kim Possible. I bought that on there. Me and my daughter can watch it together, right? Because we love that show. I mean, but that's the problem, Macaulay. Like, Disney's a perfect example. Again, I keep on going to Disney, but that's because I know it's a lot about Disney. Disney's a perfect example of all of that, dude. I mean, you can get rid of Kathleen Kennedy all you want to, man, but it's everybody else as well. They're just, I mean, it's you know, it's really funny that I just bought Aliens 2. It was on sale because I have Game Pass. It was on sale on the Microsoft Store, so I bought the special 4K UHD edition. I think it was like $6.99, $5.99, something like that. I already have like the collection, and I have it on CD or DVD, and I think Blu-ray as well. Anyway, so I got that. I started watching that, dude, and it's the untouched one. You get the full movie, which is really long. But you know, you just don't. You know, it's just a different time, dude. It's just a different time. Right, that's a product. You know what's happening. Those things are a product of its time, and what's happening is you just have a newer generation that have different values, man. That's the only thing I can tell you, bro. But yeah, I think Microsoft. Dale talked about this, right? And I tend to agree with Dale, like almost like 100% of the time. Actually, there's never anything that she said that I didn't agree with. But some of the people that got laid off, they were the DI people. So they're cognizant of that, right? Because at the end of the day, man, it's about the money. This is why, to me, it's not just DEI that is getting exposed. It's that people are broke. You know, these companies are losing money, and the companies that are realizing this, then they're trying to turn their ship around. But for certain companies, Macaulay, I'll be honest with you, I don't think Microsoft is that far gone. Though I think that is a problem with their company. But they're nowhere near Disney. I think I'm going to see Disney crash and burn before I see it actually become successful. Like that brand could be damaged beyond repair. Like they could be actually gone, if I'm being honest. And trust me, I hate to say that, man. I don't take pleasure in that. I'm a huge Disney fan. I grew up on Disney, and I grew up, you know, kind of, you know, being just in awe of Walt Disney. You know, and it's like he's an amazing guy. He created something that, I mean, that's last the test of time, and that's the sad thing about it. Same thing with Marvel, man. None of this stuff had to be this way, And the reason why it's getting this way is because they've chosen to do it. It's not because like there's a virus or a war or anything natural, a natural disaster. Man, these people are actually doing this stuff out of their own free will, and that's what blows my mind, dude. I'm just like, you guys had it all. You're at the top of the hill. Some people might say that about this country, right? You're sitting pretty for so long, you kind of forget what got you there, or you forget what's really real. What you should be focusing on. You lose track of that, and then things fall apart. So, but yeah, I agree with you, McCully. I will say though, I think COD is reminiscent of some of that old school. McCully, Xbox should be a celebration of Western gaming again. I don't know if they can though, McCully. I don't know. They're just because now that Microsoft support them, and Microsoft's a global company. It took actually the federal government changing regulating some stuff that Microsoft actually pulled back on their global and international markets as far as their plans, right? If you know Satya Nadella is technically, I believe he's from India, right? So they believe in a more global, right, a more global environment. But McCully, I'll be honest with you, dude. I agree with you, but I would leave that more to it actually happening. Or again, I use this word a lot, organically, and I think it will, man. Like it'll shift, dude. It'll shift, dude. Because people are always looking for something new and fresh, and you have a younger generation coming up. If you look at it, dude, Western gaming dominates everything, right? I mean, it is the biggest. I mean, Japan gets a lot of kudos as they should. They are one of the best, but dude, everybody's playing Fortnite. Everybody plays COD. We're the ones that push the tech, so because we're the ones taking the chance and the risks, and then most other people come along after we do it. So, and I don't ever want to lose that, McCully. I don't ever want to lose that. But I agree, it's about balance, and we definitely are not balanced. Kavari, do y'all even know what woke means? For me, Kavari, yes, because I've seen it destroy so many things that I've loved. I've actually stopped participating in stuff, and the realization that I'm older. I know the term woke got hijacked for political purposes. I know that much, right? So what it was intended to mean and what it means now is two different things. I mean, I deal with it every day at my job. I mean, I see it, but it's changing, and I think it needs to change. Well, no, I think it definitely does need to change, because if it doesn't, dude, we're in deep trouble. Okay, so dude, where I lost it. Where am I? Is that why this thing is dinging, man? Because dang, I'm sorry, dude. That's why this thing was dinging. I didn't know the chat was on fire this much. Microsoft must align with their audience before it's too late. Well, McCully, what is their audience though? Who is their audience? That's something Microsoft's been trying to figure out since 2013, brother. If I'm being honest, even I'm sitting back here looking like, okay, who is their audience? And if you look at their history, man, maybe their audience of then is not what they want now. In fact, I actually believe it that way, because I come from that time. Or I don't know how old you are, McCully. Or Macaulay, sorry. Like, what is a gamer nowadays? Kavari, nice attempt at gaslighting. Yeah, no worries. Dude, look, dude, if you guys have opinions, man, I'm the type of person. Dude, just speak your piece, man. Harrison Ford been terrible in recent years. Dude, he's been terrible for a long time. He's been terrible. Great actor though, man, and that's what got me about it, dude. I think he has gotten his bona fides, man, for his acting. Dude, like I said, one of my favorite Harrison Ford movies is Witness. He's very diverse, right? Like he does Witness, he does Air Force One, right? He was in what was it called? Man, what was that? The American Graffiti. I think that was actually his first movie. He's been in a lot of great movies, right? But I think, for me personally, dude, I think just because he's so attached to Star Wars, that bothers him. I mean, that's what I observed from him all these years. But great actor, dude. He's been in great movies. I don't know, man. Sometimes he just should hang it up. So I have no problem with Han Solo dying. I mean, the way that they did it, yeah, I think it could have gone out better, but it is what it is. So at least we don't have to worry about that anymore, right? Kavari, what's woke about a black protagonist or a woman lead? Kavari, what are you talking about specifically? If you're talking about Black Ops, are you talking about the new Black Ops? I kind of don't want to get into it, not to shut down your opinion, but I don't want to spoil it for people. That's what I kind of said in the beginning. I know what you're talking about, though. I mean, specifically, if you do that, then we'll be spoiling it for people. Because the way I play Black Ops is I always do the campaign with Black Ops. It's kind of like how I play Halo. And if we talk about it, then people are going to be like, ah. So maybe Kavari we'll discuss this like a week from now. I'll do another podcast and you can jump in and we can discuss it. Kavari pushing excessive political correctness based on fallacies and to create division is just that, along with commie propaganda. Pushing agendas on youth is just that, good pretending little brother. I guess it's predicated on what Kavari's saying. Yeah, political correctness, guys. I don't believe in that at all. When I was growing up, dude, it was just called the golden rule. Treat people how you wanted to be treated. I was raised that way too, Don't speak out of turn. Watch what you say. Think before you talk. And then if I didn't, man, my grandmother who raised me would handle it. Be a decent person. Be a righteous person. Be respectful. Stuff like that. That's how I was raised. And that's not going to fit today's society, man. Because everybody has to matter. Everybody has to have an opinion. Everybody needs to, like, a lot of people feel like they need to be seen. Kavari, gaslighting won't work, little bro. Okay, got that one. Bill Gates was the bad guy in the end. Macaulay, did you see that? There's that Bill Gates meme. Or I saw something where somebody did it, dude, and I thought it was perfect. Because there's this time that Bill Gates went to France or somebody hit him in the face with a pie, and you can tell he was not happy, right? And so the person has that part where the pan falls down. He's got all this stuff. He's trying to clear the stuff on his face, right? And it's like you can kind of see his face, but it's all got pie on it. And then somebody put on the bottom, this was the day that Bill Gates decided to kill everybody on Earth. Dude, I love that, dude. I love that. I love that so much. As there's a part of me that wants to believe that's true. Bill Gates is a guy that has just like too much time and too much money, which is a bad combination. Again, if you want to help the world as badly as you want to, and a lot of that has, it goes to ego, it goes to power and control. Right? Because at the end of the day, a lot of people who want to help people don't make it a big deal. They just go out and do it. People are doing that every day right now. Right? People are in other countries helping in whatever way they can. People donate, don't need to get recognized for it. So that's one of the problems when you see people do these kind of things, right? I'm always kind of suspicious of why. Even if at the end of the day, right, you kind of make that, at the end of the day, they're helping, but sometimes you feed these guys egos, man, and they go nuts. Bill Gates is crazy, dude. Like for me, dude, I'm like, bro, why don't you just go back to your house? I've seen your house, dude. That thing's it's basically it's not a mansion, dude. It's a facility, right? And why don't you tinker with all the stuff that you're tinkering on there? You want to be 100% green or whatever, or go on your yacht, just cruise around the world, man. If you feel bad, man, just when you import and somebody's there, shiny shoes, maybe get your shoe shine, drop the dude like 100, do stuff like that, man, like real time, real world stuff, man. Because bro, you're not God, bro. You can't do the things you want to do. You can't do. And this is the problem with a lot of this stuff, right? Because they want to implement this stuff, and they think they're smarter than everybody else. A lot of times they think they're better than everybody else. And then when you don't want to go along with them, that's when you see the bad side. That's when that comes out. Right? That's when that happens. That's when they show their true colors. Because at the end of the day, it's not about helping the people, man. It's about their ego. David Cohen. Harrison didn't want to be in Star Wars. He was more into his role as Indiana Jones. He felt shoehorned in Star Wars, but was forced into the role of Han Solo. Yeah. I mean, I know he didn't. It's like he was a young actor, right? So he wanted to just do movies. I'm pretty sure. Mark Hamill talks about this story, and he does. It gets a lot of views because he does Harrison Ford's voice. He impersonates Harrison Ford. but he's basically like the way he responded to Mark Hamill, because Mark Hamill said that they were doing scenes and he was worried that in the scene that they shot, because they're supposed to just come out of the trash compactor right on the Death Star, and then in the next scene he thought his hair should be messy, but it was clean, and he thought, man, people that'll probably be bad, right? And then Harrison Ford looks at him and says, "Hey kid, if somebody's looking at your hair, we're in big trouble, you know, because that's not this kind of movie." Sorry, something like that. So even then, man, you know, and it is what it is. Look, dude, Han Solo is a great character. Loved him as Han Solo, always will. But as far as him as a Hollywood elite, I'm done. But yeah, great comment, David. 100%. Macaulay, they know kids play COD. They push this woke propaganda on them. Well, not just COD, do everything. Right? Look at Marvel. Look at what Marvel did. You know, the ironic thing about it is, I said it in yesterday's podcast, it's not really, and it's not the communities. I mean, it is the communities, but the majority of man is their allies. Dude, that's why I deal with the most. Dude, when I deal with this stuff, dude, I'm always getting into it with them. Not really like they're the communities of people that believe this stuff. I'm not saying they're not out there or that they don't support it, but what I'm saying, the more I deal with is people that aren't like, you know, like alphabet people or people that are not, whatever agenda, right? Because you can ask them, and it's like, "What? Did that happen to you? Did you experience that?" "Oh no, you know." They tell you that they're not of that community. Imagine calling Bill Gates the bad guy. LOL, you should look up his contribution to society. Kavari, dude, I will call him the bad guy. I will, because I have looked up his contribution to society. It's more than just money, brother. This dude wants to change the face of a lot of the stuff it's not normal. There's reasons why people eat what they eat. There's a reason why human beings don't eat bugs, bro. This whole trip that these people get on about meat, a lot of the stuff, and I can speak from experience, man, because I had health issues for the last 7 years, and some of the stuff that I was told, because I had to do it on myself. I had to experiment on my own body, because people was telling me, no, what you need to do is do this and that. People was telling me, no, you need to, what was it? Don't eat meat. Like, don't eat butter. That's one of the things I already did. But now, processed butter, bad, yes. Whole butter, good. Because there's a point in time, man, where my nerves, dude, my nerves are bad. And in order to fix that, dude, I had to get nitrates. And in order to get nitrates, dude, I had to eat bacon. Now, I ended up shopping at Whole Foods, man. I used to make fun of people that, you know, this is what they call karma, right? And God has a good sense of humor. Because I used to think a lot of hippies and all these people went to Whole Foods. And here I am forced to go there, man, because they have whole bacon, whole butter, you know? And I'm not eating like a bunch of it, dude. But I did that diet, dude, and my hands don't shake anymore, bro, because I was having nerve issues, and in some instances, I'm having nerve issues in my leg. Right, so that's what I'm talking about, dude. There's people that, you know. So if you want to do that, I'm all by all means, go ahead, bro. If you want to eat bugs, not you, but people want to do that, or they feel like they're helping the earth, whatever. What I don't want you to do is come to me and tell me what to do. Right? Because that's where we're gonna have a problem. Don't come into my lane and tell me because this is what Bill Gates says, or this is what whatever government agency, or this is the new thing of the day. Now that I have to participate, when I know what works for me and doesn't work for me, and I'll tell you to go pound sand all day long, because I had to re-engineer my thinking when it came to this kind of stuff. You know, like you see right now, people are focusing on seed oils. Like if you're young, like when I look at my kids and they're young, and they have a burger or a French fries, that's fine. If they're eating it every day, that's not so much, right? They need to eat other things. You can have it every once in a while. I'm a believer in that now, because I'm suffering from that now, dude. If I had anything, dude, I have inflammation. You know, I'm older now, so my body, it's been years of all this stuff, dude. So I know for a fact, dude, that I have inflammation if I eat fried foods. That's what I'm talking about. You know, there's no one plan for everybody. There's no catch-all for everybody. Everybody's different. Everybody's in different situations, man. I mean, it's funny to me because these guys talk about diversity, but they're so you know, they're so laser focused, man. They have tunnel vision all the time. Dude, I come from an island of people that are Polynesian, man. Polynesians are big people by just by nature. Those with the blood. Those with the blood, man. You see a Hawaiian, you can tell, man, because they're big. They tend to be tall. They tend to be wide. Then they tend to be heavy set. Now, was our ancestors like that? No, but we got introduced to Western diets. But it doesn't behoove me to worry about stuff like global warming and all this crap when I have to deal with the issue of my weight because of the way I've been eating, man. If you lived in Hawaii, you grew up, you're a local. A lot of us eat spam. Spam is one of the biggest sellers in this island. We love spam. We don't eat it because it's poor. At first, like the military came in, man, that was the food of choice because it lasted. And then, of course, every place you go where there's a military presence, most of those populations and cultures eat spam in whatever way they eat it. For me, it's simple, dude. I eat spam, I'll cut it up, and I like thin slices because I like to get it crispy, a little bit burnt, throw it on some rice, make 3 eggs over easy, put ketchup over the whole thing, and just whack it. I can't do that anymore. I can't. Dude, if I do that, dude, my body will tell me, like, hey, dude, you shouldn't be doing this. That's why I say that. So, like, he can do whatever he wants to do, man, but he's actually making an effort to make these changes on a global scale. And he's a globalist on top of that, which he can kiss my ass. The right-wing ideology is threat to art and creativity. No, it's not. That's not, Kavari. Because there is no right-wing ideology. There isn't. The people that a lot of people are going back and forth with when it comes to this kind of stuff, I can say that definitely because there's this dude called Andrew Breitbart. He passed away, but he did Breitbart News. And the one thing he'd always complain about is that the right wing or the right or conservatives or Republicans, they don't care about pop culture. And I can attest to that. And I'm a product of that because certain things in my life, I like it a certain way, and then I'll participate in stuff outside of it, right? Like right now, dude, I'm struggling right now. Not struggling, but I'm having a total, rethinking of my biblical process right now, right? Because I've read the Bible my entire life with the Christian school, did all of that, read certain passages, right? Just read it as a passage, right? And now there's a lot of stuff being come into light by people who are biblically sound, talking about stuff like giants, talking about stuff like aliens and demons, right? It's actually challenging my thought process right now. Because that's never been something on right? Because the focus of being a Christian, of course, is the gospel, right? I'm sorry, guys, I'm getting off on a tangent, but just let me address this real quick, right? So that's not the thing. A lot of the things you're dealing with right now is people who are creators, because most of them are on the left. They've come over to the middle, right? And then the left wing side, you guys, they've gone off the cliff. You guys have gone off the rocker, right? And it's because of that type of thinking that you can't have the creativity, because I can tell you this as a person who participates in pop culture, because I make choices myself, right? That a lot of that stuff is offensive to the people who are leftists. I call them leftists, the left wing of the Democratic Party. Right? This is why you have these people moving over, and they're not moving to the far right. They get labeled that way. They're still basically Democrats with common sense. That's all they are. Now, if you're beholden to the party, I'm not that type of person. Like I think Republicans are absolutely ridiculous. That's why I put myself as a Christian. Also, I don't personally call myself MAGA because I'm a Christian first. Right? My viewpoint of things in this world now, my viewpoint is so much so, dude. I've surpassed all this stuff because I participated in the politics, and you should, right? I just call it civics right now, and I just look at things as how civics should be looked at. But at the end of the day, right now, dude, guys, my whole focus. I don't talk a lot about this channel. Maybe I'll do a channel separately about this. But my whole thing is about the kingdom of God right now. That's where my focus is. Because I'm at a point now where I understand that all of this stuff at the end of the day will pass away. Right? So I just enjoy it for what it is. Macaulay Kavari, look into his draconian gaslighting and politics he pushed, along with detrimental medical lies he pushed and get back to me. Yeah, I played Nintendo's Zelda's Echo of Wisdom. Surprisingly not woke, and the gameplay was creative. Still a controversial game. Is it because the princess? Macaulay, is it because of the princess? I know I'm behind, guys. I'm trying to catch up. Let me know. Because I didn't know that the game was the princess. My daughter has a Switch, and I thought she was gonna. I don't know. She's been playing more Bethesda stuff, and of course Overwatch. Overwatch, dude. I'm going broke on that game. The collabs they're doing and the skins, dude, it's absolutely ridiculous. I don't even play it on that level. But I gotta buy. In fact, I'm glad I thought about that because I gotta go buy my skins. That's gonna be another 50 drop. It's crazy. Kavari says only Elon can pay $44 billion for Twitter, only for him to drive it into the ground with the valuation of $8 billion. Yeah, but he did that on purpose, right? He's talked about it, Kavari. For him, it's more about the freedom of speech. He's on a rampage against this stuff, man, because of his son. I mean, if you go look it up, he talks about it openly. I think one of the funniest pictures they show is that they show the before and after, right? Because at the end of the day, man, the thing that drives Twitter is your the people that work on the software, right? Or and the infrastructure of Twitter. So he just cut everybody across the board. Again, I don't agree with that, man. But I mean, I don't agree with people losing their jobs, but it is what it is, dude. I think a lot of people, I mean, given the economics of today, man, a lot of people will open their mind to that kind of stuff. They realize, man, that that's why I teach my kids, man. You got to be fluid. Daughter wants to be an artist. I said, look at certain other things, man, because if you ain't got no work, right? I know you're talented. I know you know what you're doing. I have faith in you. You're responsible, but you never know, man. It's like everything that's happening in gaming now, man. Everything, this whole ecosystem when it comes to pop culture is predicated on disposable cash. If people don't got it, dude, they probably won't buy it, and that affects your bottom line if you're in this industry, whether it's gaming, movies, any of that stuff. That's why you see all these layoffs. And, like, again, I say it all the time. Tech was untouchable for a long time, right? But not anymore. That's how bad it is. Of course, the news don't talk about it on that level, so you know. But we know, we feel it. I'll call you Kavari. Are you one of the Kamala guys? Yeah, maybe. And that's cool, dude. Like I told you guys, man. If you guys are Xbox, you're more than welcome. Yeah, even if you're not Xbox, I don't care. Macaulay, Kavari, you are one of the white dudes for Kamala. Kavari, man, you gotta admit, man, that's kind of sus, bro. Yeah, I look at that, dude. I'm like, dude, that is just the gayest thing I've ever seen in my life. I see those guys. I'm like who you like, man, but they did a commercial, bro. That was horrible. Name me one Trump policy. Yeah, no taxes, Kavari. I'll give you that. He just came out the other day and said he's going to get rid of income taxes and use tariffs. That's going to be, dude. That's going to be. That's going to be. I mean, it's going to be. I think it's good, but it's going to be chaotic good because the ramifications of doing something like that, dude. And that's why both sides, again, like I said yesterday, pro and con, man. Both people, both people on both sides, whether you like him or not, dude, they're worried, man, because they know he's crazy enough to do it. Macaulay says, Kavari border, no tax on tips, stronger border. Yeah, no tax on tips. That's a good one, man. Because everywhere I live in Hawaii, dude, we're service, our service industry is pretty important to local workers. You do that, no tax on tips, man. People will be happy about that because you'll be taking home more money at the end of the day. And not only that, but people will be more apt to tip. And then you don't have to do like what a lot of people are doing now, dude. If you get rid of a lot of the taxing on it. Now, the problem is, like, a lot of people are not talking about this. I'm pretty sure it'll come into light. If the income tax is gone, then what are the states and the cities going to do? I know Hawaii relies on federal funding for a lot of stuff. So, and federal funding, man, that all comes from your tax dollars. So, it'll be interesting to see that. That's the chaotic good I'm talking about. Macaulay, Kavari, strong economic policy, tariff focus. Yep, that's what he said. Kavari, do you know how tariffs work, stupid? Most of us do, Kavari. At least I do. I can tell you I know how it does. How tariffs work. But remember, the way he uses it, and I'm talking about Trump, it's the way he uses like his nuclear armament or his missiles. Right? It's basically carrot and stick diplomacy is what he does, and I think he'll do the same thing with this. He's not a complicated guy. Now, the ramifications of that is something that should be discussed because it is going to have ramifications. I know for me, because I live in a blue state, like this state is bluer than blue. So how are they going to recoup some of this money? Not some, a lot of this money. But overall, it could have a benefit for just the average person. And it might bring the cost of living down here because the cost of living where I live is ridiculous. It's so bad. People have moved. We're one of the states where people are invading. We're colonizing. Hawaii is colonizing other states. I saw a lady post a video, Idaho, man, where she saw Hawaii license plates, and she's like, "What's going on?" And I ain't gonna hate on that lady, dude, because people here do the same thing. When we see California license plate, or you see a lot of Koreans now living here and Chinese. It's predominantly the mix always has been Chinese, but I mean like local Chinese. So there's another wave of Chinese coming, and Filipino. The mix has always been Chinese, Filipino, Japanese. The three Asian mixes. But we also have we're finally getting more Indian restaurants, which is good. I've always wanted to try like real authentic Indian food. Kavari free speech. American Health and Food Balance Energy. Oh, McCullough, that was a shocker to me when he got RFK Jr. And that dude knows his stuff, man. I've actually listened to him. And again, because of the health situation I'm in right now, a lot of the stuff he says, man, I'm like, yeah, dude, this dude is not. He's just not saying it just to get votes, or he's not just getting paid off to say this stuff, dude. And again, this is another problem, guys. This is where, honestly, after he said the income tax thing, man, I hope he makes it to election. Because anytime it's about money and power and influence, man, people don't like that, dude. People do bad things. Macaulay, Kavari is supporting sex-based rights. Huh? Supporting sex-based rights. Yep, he does that too. Macaulay says Blazing Saddles was funny. Yeah, and it was definitely the thing the thing I can't stand about people when it comes to Blazing Saddles is they don't understand what the messaging was. But again, I can't really blame them, right? Because it's a movie of its generation, of its time. But man, that movie, that movie was just, Mel Brooks in general, his movies, because there was so many underlying meanings to it. I respect that on the sense of how he's able to message things. Like there's like 2 movies going on at once when you watch Blazing Saddles, technically 3, and it's just that thing will be timeless. Like I think anybody who wants to write movies, context aside, I know it's not, very. There's double entendre. There's all kind of stuff in there. But I mean, as far as how he was able to keep everything together, it's just amazing. Okay, I think there are a lot of Zoomers who have a sense of humor in the real world. Some of their humor I hear is super edgy. Well, it's a generational thing, right, guys? Just I've lost the narrative already. So I'm sorry, but it's okay. Again, just to remind you, Call of Duty is awesome. If you have Game Pass, download it and play it. If you have the money and you want to get the extra stuff, kind of cool. I like some of the skins, some of the operators, but not a necessity. Or if you don't have Game Pass, just go buy the game. It's worth it, man. The game is worthy. In fact, I'm thinking about buying it just to get the hard copy, because I have most of the COD hard copy. I might have to go back on something I said that I don't need to buy COD because it's in Game Pass, but I might have to go out and buy it because I've been just impressed with COD. But I'll finish up the chat. Yeah, but it's traditional, dude. It's just like my daughter tells me that all the time. It's like the way she talks to like her teachers is irritating her because they want to have conversations with her, and she's just like, you're my teacher. Can you just go over the work? I need to get this done. But then some of her teachers, like she was saying, like one of them brought an Overwatch, like a limited edition Diva, and she was like, oh my gosh, like it's cost a lot of money, and it got broken. And she's like, Dad, I would never bring that. And I'm, as a parent, seeing it, there's like, why are you, as a 30-something in a classroom, have that in your office? What are you teaching my kids? Right? But I mean, some of these millennials want to be their friends, and Zoomers like, no, you're old. And that's as old as time, guys. The newer generation tends to break from the generation before them. Right? I'm Gen X. A lot of these guys who are millennials, man, they wanted to go a different route, dude. I grew up in the minivan era, latchkey kid era. You look at your parent funny, you're gonna get a crack era. Millennials didn't grow up like that. Oh, did I miss something, dude? But yeah, I agree with you, Macaulay. I mean, and a lot of it is just the anti. There's always like a pushback towards the generation before you. You see a lot of the stuff that the generation, and I'll be honest with you, man. I'm just being honest. I just say it's my opinion, but a lot of the Zoomers don't. They look at the millennials and they're like, there's things they see in the millennials they did not like at all. Like I know for my daughter, some of her friends are like, dude, they act like kids. They're adults. And when you're the kid having to be the adult, nobody likes that. Like when the kids were all locked up, when everybody was locked up or locked into their homes, man. I remember my daughter trying to have class and the teacher didn't know how to like run the app. Of course, the kids do because they're always on their phones, right? They're always, which is a discussion for another day. But you saw what I'm saying. So it was funny because she's sitting there for like the 15 minutes, man. They're trying to, no, teacher, your mic is muted. Oh no, okay, no, yeah, your picture's back. Oh no, but your mic. Okay, you fixed the mic. Then she picture this weird. Oh yeah, I was like, oh my gosh. And I'm not the swiftest tool in the shit when it comes to that kind of stuff. But you know what I would have done? I would have prepared. I would have my stuff prepared before I went to class. I'm a class on there. That's just me. But that's something of my generation, dude. You show up to work early. You're never late, but you show up early. Right? On time was considered late. You have to be there minimum 5 minutes before your shift started, right? When you took your break, you came back, you went to work, right? You didn't spend your money on frivolous things. That's why I'm still a kid to this day because I couldn't afford a lot of the stuff. Most of the gaming I played, that's because I had friends. Sorry, let's get back. Macaulay, do you agree we are in the gaming crash of 2020 is worse than the 7th Gen 1? No, Macaulay, I don't. I mean, yeah, gaming can crash, but for different reasons. For different reasons. Oh, I read that wrong. 2020s. I'm sorry. Why was I thinking 1990s? Yeah, I do agree with you then. Yeah, 2020s, yes, yes. And but my opinion is predicated on economics, like you said earlier. You know, if the election goes in another way, somebody's a little bit more free market, pro capitalism. I think the recovery. You know, if you think about Trump and his, if what's Kavari, here's a little something for you. If you look at Trump and what he talks about, his biggest focus will be on energy, making energy cheaper. And a lot of people don't realize what a big bite energy takes out of your money, out of your pocketbook. Right? So if you can do that, he said he would cut it by 50% within a year. If you can do that, I think that'll benefit a lot of people. And then you see across different industries, gaming no different. You'll see that because people will start opening up their. Hopefully, sometimes you know when stuff like this happens, you condition people to act a certain way. This is what was so amazing about the greatest generation, right? The stuff that they had to go through, right? And then you hear stories from people like from the boomers who talk about their parents and how the parent, like, you know, wouldn't leave. Like okay, so for example, Trump, right? His dad was the guy who kind of built the empire, and then Trump took it to the next level. But one of the habits the dad always had is the dad would go to his construction sites and pick up all the unused nails that, you know, because when you're working, if you guys have ever hammered anything or worked on a site, right, or just did any type of building, right, you know, sometimes you're picking up nails, you drop one, but you just have to finish something, you keep on going, right, you're putting up a wall or something, right, even if you're hammering up pictures and stuff like that, right, and then later on, like in your house, you'll step on it later, and that's bad, but he would go on the website, so he was a very frugal guy. And it makes sense because he's of that generation, and they went through a lot of tough stuff, right? But I think once you get the energy under control, and I know he'll get support because already the big tech companies are pushing to go nuclear in this country because they understand that our grid is not going to be able to sustain their big plans of global dominance with AI and the cloud and all that stuff, right? So. If I'm letting y'all know, nuclear will happen. Do you agree with some of Andy Pants? Actually, I agree with a lot with what he says. It's to what degree with Andy. But I think he's a phenomenal channel. I wish I was as articulate as he was. His presentation's on point. I know he's gone more to the political side, but I watch him. Yeah, I watch his videos all the time. So I agree with probably everything he says. It's just levels for me, because like he's like with the way he talks about COD, he doesn't believe that you should support it at all. I respect, dude. Respect. He gives all his points, and I don't like I tell you guys all the time. Even if you're a pony man and you're here, I don't really care. I don't really care what Sony does. I personally don't care that they money have titles. I really don't. Maybe it might bother me if Microsoft didn't have Game Pass or Microsoft didn't have games, right? But then I'm at an issue. I'll probably just walk away. But I will say this, man. If Sony wants to do that, go ahead. Because if it's hurting Xbox, and Xbox has done stuff to address it, but if Xbox didn't do stuff to address it, that's kind of Microsoft, right? But they are, right? They're giving us everything, and I'm so comfortable in Xbox and the ecosystem. I don't have to worry about all these games, you know. Like I don't care if we get that monkey game, Wukong. Is it Wukong? Right? And then look what happened. Microsoft made a deal with another developer, man, and they're just as hungry as the Wukong guys. Nothing against the Wukong guys, right? There's a lot of up and comers over in China, right? That wanna express themselves, right? That want to be in the industry and want to create the art they want to create according to their culture. Man. To me, that's what you do. You don't fake the culture, right? Like for yourself to get kudos, man. You go to the culture and they went. Like a lot of these guys are in China right now, right? And Microsoft's trying to help them, right? So we're gonna get a game eventually. Is it gonna be any good? I don't know. Would I have liked Wukong? I don't know. But that's not even. I don't even care, right? Because right now, right, after I do this podcast, I'm gonna play like probably 4 or 5 more hours of COD. That's where I'm at. if I'm being perfectly honest with you guys. Like, so I don't care. Like, it's what it is, and I say this all the time on my channel, but it's the principle of it. For me, it's all about the principle, right? Like, you guys come, like, the ponies will come over here and praise all this. I just played Sifu. Now, I was told that was the greatest game of all time. It's not, but it's a great game. It's a good game. Now I say it's a great game because I spent some time in it playing it, right? Because I wanted to talk about that dichotomy, and it's a great game because there's levels to it, there's layers to it, dude. I thought I was just gonna go in and just smash some few buttons. No, the game won't let you do that, dude. It's almost Souls-like, but not on that irritating level that I don't like. If you like Souls-like games, that's fine. But I'm not that way. But it's just enough, right, to get me in there, right? Just enough to make me like go through the struggle of beating some of these dudes because you're gonna get beat. The whole game is predicated on you getting old. If you die, like if you get beat in the game, you add years to your life, which I think is a pretty cool gimmick, right? I like it. I don't think it's bad, but it's also going to dictate how the game is. So I'm pretty sure there's some of you guys out there, like how I'm playing on COD, and this dude goes on a 38 kill streak that nobody can stop this dude, and it's not because he's cheating; he's actually that good. I'm pretty sure there's some beast out there that can get through Sifu without dying once. I'm pretty sure there's those guys out there. But if you're gonna tell me certain things and then I play it, like it finally came over and I played it, right? Then I can honestly say, no, dude, it's not the greatest game of all time. It's pretty great. It was good, and when I first started, it's pretty great. I even might buy it, but I want to buy other stuff first because I support the guys who support Xbox, who support our ecosystem, and they have great games, dude. I'm just not buying it just to support them in a sense. I mean, I am, but then also that the games are good and enjoy. This is why I'm having a hard time because I don't have the time to play all of my games. But yeah, dude, I have no problem with Andy Pansy. I love his channel. I watch all his videos. I've even shared it on my Twitter. Kavari, Macaulay, do you do us both a favor and do your research because you're definitely showing how little you know. Macaulay, Kavari, if you have the woke mind virus, that's your business, but don't lie to others, little bit. Look, dude, you guys can have your opinions. That's fine, dude. But yeah, I would. If you guys are gonna talk about it, then I think bringing receipts. If you guys dive deep into it, that's my recommendation. But have at it. What's the woke mind virus? Is that one of your right-wing talking points? Like Trump didn't lose the 2020 election. No, that's not a right-wing or a Trump thing. That's a very in fact, liberals say it too. Bill Maher has talked about it because Bill Maher is like a classical liberal, right? So when he talks about this, he doesn't like this stuff either because he feels it goes against, like freedom of speech should be off. So the classical liberal, of course, all speech should be free speech, right? But if you're sensitive, right? If you're woke, and somebody says offends you, and you don't want to hear it, and then you try and shut them down, that's where it's gone. But if you believe in free speech, you should be able to sit there and listen to what people say. Not agree with it. Maybe it makes you mad. I'm not saying don't get mad, but liberals have always put themselves, and a lot of classical liberals are. Man. They're free speech. They're free speech activists, and I know that for a fact, man, because I dealt with them as a Christian. You deal with them all the time. Macaulay, Kavari, these aren't right-wing talking points. It's moderate. Yeah, like you're saying, it's moderate. I get along with all types of people, but it's clear that you on that side of politics. LOL. Be better, bro, and research outside your bubble, homie. Yeah, they are. That's why I'm trying to say about it. Not trying to dump on you, but it's if you see a lot of the people, a lot of them are moderate. Like again, Elon Musk is not a Republican, bro, and he's not a conservative. That's my side of the lane. That's where I'm at. But I'm a traditional conservative, right? And I'm a old school Republican. This is why I don't like the Republican Party now. I think I rant more on the Republican Party than the Democratic Party, because the Republican Party is not the party that they propose themselves to be. They should be a righteous party, and they're not. They just aren't. And they do the same thing on a different side, because it's a uniparty. That's all it is. That's Washington right now is just one big uniparty, right? A lot of them just got their hands out, dude. They do stuff in their best interest, and you should never do that. Again, guys, civil service. You're a civil servant. You're there to serve the people. Not your interests, not your pockets, not your retirement plan, not your kids going to getting cushy jobs on either side. Right? on either side. Just be righteous, man. That's what you need to be, because it's just like a preacher, like a pastor of a church, man. More is expected of them. You know, if you're in these positions of authority, more are expected because people have to trust you. And when you lose that trust, man, this is why society is the way it is, man. Nobody likes politicians, dude. Nobody does. Again, that's why Trump does well with a lot of different people, right? Because they look at him like, this is not a politician. Kavari, Macaulay, please tell us about the Jewish space laser. The Jewish space laser. Don't know what that is, Kavari. Kavari, spare me your Quanon and Project 2025 nonsense, homie. Gaslighting is work. Homie, feel better a little. All right, you guys are starting to go back and forth, so I'm just gonna just cruise through this real quick. Kavari, y'all lose the argument and name call. Ponte, that one mission is tough though. Oh no, that one mission is threw me for a loop. Definitely did not expect it. Yeah, dude. Yeah. And again, I'm only getting into the second mission, so I played the second mission too. Right. But so is that? I know you might be farther ahead of me, but I wouldn't be surprised. Man, I've been liking everything that's been revealed. I've been liking the pace at which it's being revealed. Love the writing. Again, I want to say some stuff, but I can't, Bate, because then I'll spoil it. That one mission threw me for a loop. Didn't expect it. Oh, no worries. I get you, Bate. I get you. I think Zoomers have had enough of the woke stuff, especially ones I speak with. I'm a bit younger. Yeah, Macaulay. Again, I think one of the reasons why is because the generation prior, like for us, like, well, I can't say Gen X is such a anomaly when it comes to all this stuff. You know, they call us the forgotten generation. But I know people. I don't know. We're just so different from millennials in our viewpoint and the way we do things. But yeah, I mean, it's natural to me, man, because Zoomers. Well, I mean, the generation prior to the Zoomers, right? They wouldn't want to be like that for the most part, but they might still agree on stuff. Right? Actually, so the videos where Zoomers are talking about things that bother them and stuff like that, like the environment, women's rights. I think one of the things that are waking a lot of people up is reality. Right? You're getting smacked by reality right now, because regardless of how you feel about certain things, man, dude, your neighbor's dog. Why is he barking so much? I should really put him in the back. Where was I? So yeah, anyway. Sorry, I lost my train of thought. Is that dog? Because I know everybody's hearing it, dude. And if this thing lasts any longer, maybe that's my sign to just wrap it up. Macaulay, that Bill Gates video is funny. Yeah, dude. Is that a video? I remember seeing a picture and reading about it, reading a caption. But yeah, man. I mean, I think that's the point in time where he's like, you're all gonna die. Macaulay, when you have a crossover with Zobi, it's always there. Yeah, Zobi's one thing I like about Zobi, even though we don't agree on stuff, and we agree on something, we don't agree on everything. But every time, number one, I think Zobi's probably one of the most entertaining people that I listen to across the board. I got him, Erock X. If you never listened to Erock, Erock doesn't do as much stuff. They actually shut down his channel, talking about free speech, right? Some guys were offended by what he said, and then they had his channel shut down. And out of principle, he never brought it back, which is unfortunate because he's not only and again, like we all don't agree to. I'm pretty sure they don't agree with everything. I might not agree with everything as well. But they're just number one. They're just entertaining to listen, and they're interesting, and I like listening to them. Even if I might not agree with Zobi, dude, and I can tell Zobi, his thoughts are his own. That's the thing I love about Zobi the most. And I've been following him for a long time. And even when he was Pony, I shouldn't say Pony, but because he's not a Pony, but when he's hardcore PlayStation. My bad, Zobi. You're not a Pony, dude. You're hardcore PlayStation. Just like me, and I can respect that because I'm hardcore Sega, right? So, Zobi, man, but he's always been him. Zobi's always been Zobi. You know what I'm saying? Even when there's shades of Zobi, dude, it's still Zobi at the end of the day. Like, I don't know how else to explain it, man, but that dude has never changed. E-Rock's the same way. He bought the world's most powerful gamer. As long as I've known this dude has always been 100%. Never faltered. I'm finding that out with Sega Man, who we hang out with a lot. Sega Man is Sega Man. He is who he is, and he ain't afraid to tell you. He's more quiet. He's more reserved. But there's times where he'll come out with that show, man, and he just lay it on you. And I like people like that, Macaulay. I like people who are like that. So that's why I surround myself with. Right? And I think it's better, man. I mean, I can do stuff on my own, man. I can go look up this stuff. In fact, I find myself I do listen to opposing opinions because I already know what I believe. So I kind of have to challenge myself by listening to other people's opinions. You know, like Bomar, I don't really care for him. I don't listen. I want to, I don't support him on that level, but I will listen to him to see what he says, and not just when he has a moment of clarity. I mean, I try and listen to, like, I make it a point to listen to because they shut him down too. He got after the 9/11 thing, they shut down the show, and I used to like, I liked watching politically incorrect. But back then, you could have more of a balance when it came to policy, even if you disagree. So if we could get back to that type of thing, but we won't. We never will. It's too far gone. I like Star Wars. Macaulay says, I like Star Wars episodes 1 through 3 a lot and enjoy 4 to 6. Rest just feel factory line to me. Yeah. Yeah. I love 4 and 6 the most because that definitely is my generation. Like you said, you're younger than me. I did not like Macaulay. I'm not going to lie. I didn't like 1 through 3 until I watched Clone Wars with my daughter. And then experiencing Star Wars with my daughter and getting her perspective really helped me open up to episodes 1 through 3 a lot more. Because my expectations for 1 through 3 were just, honestly, they were just, there's no way Star Wars would have been able to match it because 4 and 6 and then all the stuff that was surrounding it, the world building that was done around it, it was almost an impossible task. I mean, I still think they could have done things differently, but there's parts of, I've grown to love it. I don't know if I ever go like 7, 8, and 9. I doubt I will. At 7, I didn't really have a problem with, but 8 and 9 is definitely off limits to me. So I'm like, I'm done. I liked Boba Fett. I liked what is it? The Mandalorian. Boba Fett was okay. I think it could have been better, but I still like it because I like Tamora Morrison. And yeah, but pretty much that's it. Then I kind of dropped off. I like the animation stuff they did. That was pretty cool. But everything after Star Wars after that, I gave up, dude. And then gave up on Marvel's good. Though I'm thinking of watching Thor, God of Thunder. Where is it? God of Thunder, right? Or what the new Thor that came out? Love and Thunder or whatever. I think I might watch it, man, because my boy Chris Hemsworth been getting some hate, and I want to support him, dude. I like him. What's up, Tool Man, dude? Sorry, man. I'm trying to catch up with the chat as fast as I can, dude, and it's been hard because we've gone off skew, which is fine. I'm not complaining. But welcome to man, brother. I hope. Are you playing COD, bro? Let me know. Yeah, it's crazy how much they misled on food. I just think, yeah, like I think it's because like you listen to RFK and you listen to Tulsi, and you listen to these guys. Like to me, what they're saying is right, but how are you going to implement it, right? Because a lot of this too, Macaulay, has to deal with money, right? Not just like the big evil corporation type of talk, man, but at the end of the day, dude, there are people that buy to what they can afford. So how are you going to make this stuff affordable, right? Like for me. One of the meats I eat, or I try to eat when I need to eat meat, because you need to eat meat, right? But you can eat it sparingly. I'm not saying you have to eat meat every day, right? But and the way my body was at the time, dude, I was having all kind of digestion problems. But I knew I needed the meat to service certain things that was going on in my body. So I always try and get a prime cut, right? Because number one, it would just digest better. But if you buy the prime cut, right, it's expensive, dude. And this is before now. Like I don't even touch that stuff because one of the problems that's happening is, in order to make the meat's more expensive, right? So I used to buy like a pack of meat at Sam's Club for like $25, maybe if you're lucky, but mostly $30 to $35, right? And you get about the way they cut it, maybe four pretty good sized pieces. Now that is like $60 where I live, and not only is that $60 because I bought a pack, right? Because I'm like, okay, I'll just do what I normally do. I just kind of spread it out. So I bought it, right, and then I cooked it, and it was horrible. And I could kind of tell because I could tell like it was a lot of grizzle on it, which I can't eat. Maybe me back when I was 18, definitely, but not anymore, right? So, and I love the fat too. Actually, that's why I get it for the fat. But they're supposed to have it's a prime grade meat, right? But it's and so it got more expensive. It's still a prime grade. That's what they say, but when you cook it, it's not. It's a quality's gone down, and that's because you have to cut corners, right? So that's the reality that I'm looking at, Macaulay, when they talk about changing the food pyramid. And stuff like that, right? Because we've been a generation of people, and this stuff, all the other bad stuff aside that you see coming out with the oils and all that kind of stuff, you still got to look at the economics of it. And I think that's where the sticking point's going to be. But I don't know, man. I've been surprised by RFK Jr. And then how much time is he going to have, dude? Because it's my understanding that Trump's going to put him in charge of the intelligence. That's the scuttlebutt, right? That's the rumor. And one of the first things they're going to look at is Trump said on Rogan, man. He said he's going to open up the JFK. And I'm like, dude, that's a big, man. You know, his uncle's assassination. So, well, I mean, I don't know, but that's as far as the food. Sorry, jumping around. But as far as the food, that's what I'm more concerned about. Because if you're going to make it healthier, it'll probably be more expensive, right? And the whole thing right now is just bringing cost down. So there's that balance that they're going to have to try and find. Now, one of the things I do see that they're doing, I personally think it's good, dude. I watched this great video about a butcher's life in Japan, and I think we need to get back to that because this guy inherited a physique from his dad. The dad's a butcher. He became a butcher. At first, he kind of didn't know if he wanted to do it, but when the dad got older, he took over. Then he ended up liking it, and so then, but his grade of beef is high, right? But then they go through a lot of the process themselves, right? And we need to get back to that. I think that's what we need to do. But how much is that all going to cost? The processing, the shipping, the stuff like that. We're going to have higher labor costs, right? The only reason I'm on board for the higher labor costs with here is we're already paying high costs. So I might as well keep it here, right? I mean, that's my opinion. Because if you're going to do that and you can somehow lower the cost of living for everybody, then that's a winner, in my opinion. Now, if they can pull that off, we'll see. But that's the discussion that I wish we could have, but we can't. You start talking to people and I'm like, you're a Nazi, you're a communist. I know I participated into because there's no end game, right? There's no reason to run to it. So why even participate? Less process that goes, less information. Yeah, Macaulay. I experienced that personally. Now, Macaulay, I will say though, but I'm older. I'm in my 50s, right? I had to get my gallbladder removed. Right? There's stuff going on with my body because of my age. So they're gonna have to balance that, right? Because you're gonna look, dude. If you're gonna have a younger person there, and I understand like that might affect people later on, just like with smoking, right? But if you're gonna have a younger person and their concern is more, especially if you have a Gen Z guy, but their concern is more about the cost of housing and all that kind of stuff. They don't care about. They might not care about the food and the cost, and I mean, they just want the food to be cheap, right? So that's the balance, right? That's going to be a process. I mean, sometimes when I listen to a lot of people, when you talk about this stuff, and I'm not talking about you, but you know the people, right? You see them a lot on YouTube, right? You can tell that they never thought about it all the way through. But again, a lot of people just want lower price. They could care less about everything else, if we're being honest. Some of these guys want, dude. I'm pretty sure Microsoft wants a better economy. They won't come out and say it. They won't. I think it's smart that they don't endorse any particular person, right? But it would be interesting to see how their employees donate this year. Plus, elections have consequences. Polynesians are cool. Everyone I met was a cool dude. For the most part, bro. Yeah, we try to be. Like, I try to be, personally. Right? We have a lot of tourists here, man. I'm not one of these guys that, just automatically hate tourists. But tourists do touristy things. But I'm cool with it, dude. Plus, I grew up in the mainland. I've been to the mainland. I grew up in the mainland. I was in Florida, dude. That's a whole other mix of people. So I have like kind of this exposure to a lot of different cultures. So like Florida was kind of like where I lived in Florida was kind of like Hawaii, except just different types of people, right? Different type of cultures. Like definitely Florida more the European, but a lot of people from India, Pakistan, European, and definitely Hispanic, right? Across the board. South America, Puerto Rico, Cuba, all of that. And then meeting a lot of different from the upper states that moved down, either retirement or cost of living. Because back then, Florida was really cheap. Right? So I met a lot of people from Boston, from New York, man, loved them. That's probably maybe why I do like Trump, man, because I had this one, these two brothers worked with me at the grocery store that I worked at. And their dad, dude, he had that way about, just direct. And he talked to me and goes, "Hey, Cooper, I heard you had this thing going on." And he was just direct, bro. He was just a direct guy. And I like that about him. So maybe that's why I have an affinity for people from New York. Like my best friend when I was in the Navy, she was from New York. And she was from Jamaica, Queens. She was cool. But she was another one, man. She was just straight up. Macaulay. Kavari melting down. LOL. Dude does not do research. Imagine equating facts and truth to being right. I guess correct is what he is trying to say. Well, I mean, yeah, Macaulay, but you know, there's a lot of people that feel that way. You know? Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, brother. People forget Bible is based on human experience and the moral compass of humans and biological reality. It's based on human experience regardless of what people believe. Yeah, there's definitely a historical part of it. A lot of stuff archaeologically proven. Um, a lot of prophecy has been proven. Yeah, but it is a defining thing on the human experience and on human nature. That's how I kind of look at things too, Macaulay. I also look at the human nature. That's why I kind of understand certain things in a particular way about why people do. Like that's why I don't. You know, when it comes to racism stuff like that, dude, everybody's equally everybody's sinners, man. So that's how I look as a Christian perspective, right? Well, we're all sinners regardless of who you are, where you come from, your background, whether you're rich or poor, stuff like that. At the end of the day, everybody's a sinner, and you know, for the Christian, of course, right, is the gospel, knowing Jesus, and giving your life to Jesus and turning your life around, and then we focus on the eternity of it. Hey Anthony, what's up, brother? Man, cheers to you, bro. Just doing a little podcast. If you have not played COD, Black Ops 6, dude, and you like COD, and you were maybe you were holding out, dude, COD is definitely. I like it. I love it. I think it's awesome, and I barely scratched the surface of it. So I definitely feel if you're a COD guy, you should play it. But welcome to the show, brother. Macaulay, it's okay to be religion. Freedom of religion still exists. Yeah, yeah. I mean, there's a lot of people right now that are, you know, that are actually. Again, I said this yesterday. Richard Dawkins was talking about about especially Christianity, because you know he's an atheist, right, and he's not big on Christianity. And he has his reasons, and you can listen to him. But you know what he's seeing now with everything that's going on in the world, he's beginning to think that Christianity is not so bad, right? Because for him, it's like it kept people in check a little bit more. There's that aspect to it. But Christianity is changing too, man. I mean, a lot of people are not. You know, let's be honest, right? You have to be. Well, I don't know. It's been changing though. It's been changing, right? Because things are more real now in the world. You know, and stuff like World War III starts popping up. When people start talking about that and nuclear war, that's when people, you know, your what do you call it? Your mortality comes into question. That's when people start thinking a little more seriously about stuff. And of course, the money too. Yeah, Anthony, cheers to you, brother. So man says, hey to Anthony Chipmunk. Macaulay says, yeah, this Princess Zelda game throws out the traditional conventions and is similar to Minecraft. You know, that makes a lot of sense. You know, because a lot of these games will do that. They will, because they could be fans of the games. Like you saw what happened with, what is that? Pal World, right? It's basically taking from Pokemon. But if I was Nintendo, I wouldn't worry, dude. Pokemon is so huge. Pokemon's so huge, they won't. Power World won't. Like Power World is there's an audience of people that like Power World. And I know some Pokemon guys that play it and they like aspects of Power World. But whenever they come with what are they? Sapphire? What I don't know. They have to pick a when they come out with Pokemon Tungsten and Pokemon Tungsten and Gold, or no, they already did Gold, right? What's the other Platinum? Pokemon Tungsten and Platinum, dude. All the guys will be there, dude. My daughter will be there. My daughter was complaining about the last one, and then we didn't pre-order, and then we had to go down to GameStop, and luckily the guys knows what time's up now because Nintendo's big here, Sony's big here, so they had extra stuff on because they know people do that. I went in there, and not only I thought she was gonna buy one, she bought two, and then got the collector stuff, dude. I was out like $150, man. I was like, dude, this is your early birthday gift. That's what I told her. Yeah, Anthony says, what's up, too, man? Macaulay, Elon has a lot of support across the board, except with the woke, all because he wanted free speech. Yeah. I mean, I just don't consider him like he still has. Dude, I mean, he still believes in some of the stuff he always believed in. I mean, people just got mad that, you know, especially when what it really was, dude, is when he started talking to Trump. Because remember, him and Trump didn't like each other, right? Just like Rogan and Trump didn't like each other. Man, they said stuff about each other. But now, I mean, that's look at it now, right? Because to be honest with you, I didn't think he would do that. But I know I don't know if you read about him and his son or daughter or whatever. But you know what I'm saying? If you know about that, then I think that's his main drive. Because he loves his family, dude. He loves his kid. Elon was a darling of that side of politics until he wanted free speech. Wow, how they turned on him. Dude is center left. Yeah, I think he's still left, to be honest with you. I think he's still left. And nothing wrong with that. I'm just saying. I mean, that's not my cup of tea, but I mean, as far as Elon. But I mean, like he said that the other day, dude. He just wants to make stuff, and he doesn't even want to do this. But he's been forced to do this, man, because he was a victim of that, dude. They tried to shut him up, man. They tried to ban him. So that's what tends to happen, right, Macaulay? Right? Is when it happens to you, when that happens to you, like a lot of people in some of these states, man, that are swing states or some blue states, like here in Hawaii, people are waking up, man. Look, we had the fire in Maui, right? And a lot of people there, local people, are kind of like, wow, dude, we've got nothing, we got no help. And then they said, oh, we'll give you $700, and people that were pissed, dude, were like, dude, you know how expensive it is to live here? And there's some people, man, that they still don't have homes. Right, because if you guys didn't notice, a lot of those homes they're not owned by locals, right? Or they could be owned by locals, but they're rented out. So, insurance comes along, cut your losses, man, take your check and move. But the people who are, and mostly local people that actually live here, that grew up here, dude, they don't have that option, bro. So, and then on top of that, you tell them, well, here's $700 to hold you over. Dude, like that's like, especially for a lot of these people are families, man. That's not even enough for food for a week for a lot of people now. Or it's just going to be for food. You can't pay like electric or anything if you want, or even a down on a house. Some of these guys don't have savings. Gen X made cool games. Yeah, dude. I'll even say, dude, some of the boomer stuff, right, that came out. Well, I don't know. Is that boomer stuff? I miss the arcade games, but yeah. I like to think so, bro. I like to think so. Okay. Teachers are different these days. Too many activist unions corrupted them. Yeah, my biggest concern is like when I look at some of the teachers, like, why are you getting into teaching? Is it to teach people? And then again, you gotta look at the curriculum they're teaching from, right? It's a perfect storm. Right? That's why Trump said he'll kill the Department of Education. That's why you find a lot of people homeschooling or a lot of people doing things outside the box. Like here, man, that was a big thing, man. Like, was it not really homeschooling, but charter schools. And man, dude, I remember because my daughter went to a charter school. She was having a hard time socially, and then we sent her to this charter school, and it was perfect, dude, because there's a lot of kids that were like her. And not that she had a learning disability or anything; she was just quirky, as a kid. Because we sent her, in fact, I sent her to this Christian school, but it was a Japanese Christian school, and she didn't do well out there at all, man, because my daughter's part Japanese. And so she went to the school, man. So she was kind of ostracized because she's not full Japanese. But the staff was nice. They're Christian, right? But a lot of times, if you guys didn't know this, man, like when I was growing up, I went to a Christian school. You had to be a Christian. Like you have to believe in Jesus. Like when I went to the school, I got interviewed. The first, my grandma was with me. My grandmother was she's a God-fearing woman, so she wanted me to go to the school. And then when we walked in there, I sat down with my grandmother. And then the principal just looked at me and says, do you believe Jesus? Do you believe in God? I said, yes, sir. So do you believe Jesus is the Son of God? I said, yes, sir. So do you believe in basically the Trinity? God the Father, Jesus the Son, and the Holy Spirit. Yes, sir. I said, well, welcome. That was it. So then I took tests after that, but that was just to get to gauge where you were, right? Especially after I was coming out of state. But that's just to gauge where you were, right? Academically, not to get you into this, but to get into that school, you have to be Christian. And then they kind of changed, man, because you're Christian, but you also have to go to the church. Now I went to the church anyway because I already was a Christian. But you see what I'm saying? Like if you came in there, you have to be a Christian to go to that school. And if you wasn't a Christian, and this is a Baptist school, right? So that's kind of why I am the way I am. So I went that route, and then they let me in, but I had to be that. That was But if you look at a lot of the Christian schools. Like a lot of the schools where I'm from, they're founded and they're more biblically based. And now a lot of them are more private schools. My son went to one. Really great school, but that's not their focus. But yeah, my daughter went to that school. It wasn't a good experience. And great school. Like I said, the staff was awesome. She just sitting. she was just ostracized, man, because a lot of the kids that couldn't speak English, they just spoke Japanese. And again, it was a Japanese Christian school. So now, did I sit there and cry about it? No, we just found another school. Right? It is what it is, and it was for the best because we found this charter school, and she found all kind of kids that were just kind of like her, made her comfortable, had a lot of friends. Unfortunately, man, the state here it was coming down on these things, dude. It was a nuts thing, dude. This is why I don't like this stuff, man. Like, I'm not gonna shit it to you when Trump does what he does because I'm like I've experienced the bad side of that, like because they shut down the school, or they did everything to make it hard for the school to exist. They shut it down. One of the teachers that was there, she had to leave, and she's the one that helped my daughter the most, right? And then, yeah, it was sad, man. And then for the longest time, man, we all kept in touch, us and the parents, and we all did stuff on our own outside. We go to the beach as a group, just hang out. But of course, everybody, like most of them, like some people left, but man, for that time, dude, it's something that helped my daughter tremendously. So I'm just not talking out of my, you know what, when I talk about this stuff. Dude, that's an actual experience I went through. Wait, did I miss this? What IP would you revive for today? Macaulay says. Man, I'm drawing a blank right now. I know there's a lot. I know I talk about quite a bit. But if it's specifically for Xbox, I really want Viva Pinata. I've been talking about that lately. That's like one of my favorite games. And I think Microsoft needs more games like that because they want to be more diverse in their portfolio. And they need to add more kids stuff to their thing. And the thing with Viva Pinata, the way that game is, especially after the last game they had, that's something that they could actually make into a franchise. And then on top of a franchise, make it into like they could build a lot of stuff off of it. Right? Like what they do with Halo. They can have a cartoon. They've already done that before. They can market Funko Pops or do their own thing. It could be a cash cow in that thing because they're looking at generating money. So Viva Pinata is definitely one of those games. And it's such a great game. I loved it. So quirky. Reminds me like back in the day. That's when I was playing Viva Pinata. I was playing games like Pikmin. I don't know if you played Pikmin, Macaulay. That's one of my favorite Nintendo games. Pikmin 1 and 2. I was playing Animal Crossing. Freaking Vector Man. Dude, I was still playing that on my Genesis. I like those type of games, man. I think the quirkiness. Microsoft does a lot of things. They do a lot of genres. But for their portfolio, I think they could add a little bit more. So yeah, if I had to say what IP I'd bring back, it would be Viva Pinata, especially now with the way the graphics are. In fact, when we had the Tokyo Game Show, they had that kind of quirky game from Japan. I haven't played it yet, and I probably won't because I think it's more of a 4-player co-op. You know what that noise is? Dude, that's my phone, bro. Okay, now I won't make that sound. So it's a quirky 4-player co-op. I just might try it out because it's in Game Pass, but I don't know if I'll be playing it because I think you need 4 people. Bit slow to the party, although I was looking the other day. The best shooters are now all. Hey, lad, lad. I'll just call you lad, brother. Bit slow to the party, although I was looking the other day. The best shooters are now all in one place, alongside some of the best ever RTS strategy and races. Yeah, like, I mean, it's again, man. Like Sega Man says, we're eating good over here, and he wasn't lying. I mean, he said it a while ago, and it's just gotten better or worse, right? Depends, right? Because again, for me, it's not. I mean, money, yeah, is an issue, but now it's more about time. I got to hold off buying games because I just know I have time to play it, man. Because I do want to go through my backlog. Because there's games I actually want to play. But yeah, if you look at their suite of games and the partnerships that they've made, dude, they're not wanting for anything. Like when I talked about Viva Pinata, I meant for like their specific, their studios, their personal portfolio, their third part, their first party. But as far as everything else, dude, I mean, you could just go on Game Pass right now. I fell off of Path of the Goddess, man. That game is awesome. I'll just probably go buy it because I liked it so much. But I don't know if I have time to go back to it right now, especially with COD coming out. COD is going to suck up all my time this week. I already know that. But yeah, man, welcome, lad. Thank you for being here. And great quote. I mean, great chat, man. Great post. Because this is definitely true, man, across the board. I haven't even played Age of Mythology yet, which is sad. Haven't played Aura. I wanted to check that out because I like Civilization games. I actually wanted to try and do it on my computer. See if I can get enough. I don't know. I'll try it on the console first, man, because I was really blown away by Age of Empires 2. I didn't think they could pull it off, man. It's the controller works so well for that game on console. Vontae, oh, you're definitely not at the mission I'm talking about. You got a little bit to go. Oh yeah, Vontae, I'm pretty sure. But the way the story is shaping up, the way the introduction was, man, that told me all I needed to know, man. The quality, right? You can tell they put some time and effort into this bad boy. I mean, it looks really good too. It's still a little bit of the graphics aren't 100%, man, but it's right up there, dude. I'd say it's probably one of the most realistic CODs that you're gonna ever see. And some of the stuff, like Mission 2, when you started off, what happens there, right? So I wish they would expand on that aspect of the game more. I don't want to spoil it, but that part of the game, you know what I'm talking about. When you first go into Mission 2, and then the story unfolds and where you're at, the location. But I just want them to expand on that kind of stuff, and I don't know if they will or not, or if they do or not, because I'm not that far, like you said. All right, dude, I'm caught up, bro. Interesting chat, man. Shinzo, man, thank you for being here. Daniel Berry, of course, thank you for being here, brother. Macaulay, man, thanks for coming back, dude. I'll try and work out something with Zobi, or I'll probably do something with Global as well, man. Global, like yesterday, we kind of went off the beaten path. And as you can see, if you like that kind of content, we'll do that on a separate podcast, which Zobi can be in, or just do one with Zobi and Global can come out. Either way. Because it wasn't, I mean, that wasn't supposed to happen yesterday, but it just did. But as you guys know, man, I don't know where my podcasts are. We're all over the place again. David, man, thanks for stopping in, brother. Enjoy COD, man. Are you playing it, brother? Did you play it yet, dude? If you played it, you know I'm not telling you something you don't know. Kavari, man, look, dude. I mean, I think politically we might not agree, but you're more than welcome here, dude. I love your commentary. We can talk about gaming. We can talk about everything, dude. You can always say whatever you want here, dude. I like to fancy myself as free speech absolutist, so I don't have to agree with you. Because and guys, I'll just be honest with you. If you're still listening, I mean, I'm a person that's confident in what I feel and in what I believe. You know, I have a lot of foundational stuff that I'll never change. That's why a lot of times I don't have to cancel people. I don't have to kick people out or move people away from me, because a lot of times people know that I won't change and they'll just leave, which is fine. We respect. I don't have no problem with that. Who else is that? I know Two Man. Yeah, Two Man. Thank you for being here, my brother. Anthony Chipmunk. Thank you. Cheers, my brother. Thanks for being here. And Lad, man, I know you've been in before. Glad to have you here. And yeah, dude. I mean, Xbox is a juggernaut. I don't care what the mainstream media says. I don't care what the gaming media says. Don't care what all the haters say. Don't care what all these guys who are actually ponies say. And they fancy themselves gamers, man, but they're ponies. Or they fancy themselves gamers, but they grew up in a Sony. They grew up in a Sony generation, so they look at things from a Sony perspective, a Sony slant or a Sony bent, and they don't even know it. And that's the sad thing about it. Again, hugest Marvel fan. When I read comic books, it's all about Marvel. Make my Marvel. That was my motto. But if you like comic books, you have to read a lot of different stuff. I know now that I'm just a one console system person, but there's reasons that beyond the fact that I'm not interested in anything on the Sony side. And then Nintendo, I can't play Switch, right? I have tech problems and stuff like that. So even my phone, I can't look at it for a long period of time, which is probably a good thing. But I mean, so Xbox gives me everything I need, dude. I don't have to step out anywhere else. Just like Lad said, dude, they have everything now. Like we're getting the JRPGs everybody's been talking about. And that's how you know some of this stuff was just fake outrage, right? Because a lot of the stuff that people said they wanted from Microsoft and said that Microsoft needed, Microsoft addressed. And they addressed it promptly, right? And when they started doing that, a lot of these guys still complained. And so we know that it wasn't about that, dude. They just hated Xbox. But on this channel, dude, I'm a pro Xbox channel. And I always will be a pro Xbox channel. I will speak out against things I don't like. But again, I mean, like I said, I'm tied into their ecosystem. They got me, dude. There's no other place I can go. And this is my last hurrah, dude. After Xbox, I'm out. Okay. But yeah, I have to go, guys. I know this ran long, but thank you guys for being here. Thanks to anybody who sticks around and listens to my ranting or my talking points. I really appreciate it. But at the end of the day, man, first impressions, COD is absolutely wonderful. It is amazing. I highly recommend you guys go check it out. And enjoy it. It just feels like old COD. It does, really. And anyway, Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever. We out.